Through the infinite illusion of time, we find ourselves through one another again and again. Aloha, shifters, multidimensional friends, dreamers within this holographic matrix. This is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, aka Skull the Wolf, welcoming you and inviting you to another exciting, inspirational, and educational live broadcast of Paradigm Shift Central Team Building Circle, presented on behalf of ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. So, thank you again, everyone, for tuning into this. And as always, we are joined with some fellow shifters from across the world. So let's do that, shall we? Let's unmute our microphones and let's send some gratitude to all the other beautiful people tuned into this broadcast, either in the present or in the future present. So, guys, please feel free to unmute your microphones and send some love out to all the people who are tuned into this. So go ahead, guys, make some noise.
Hi, baby.
No, you guys are there. All right, let's try that again. Let's get this pumped up. You guys ready? All right, make some noise, guys. Make some noise. It's a full moon. Let's hear it. Gotta break that ice. Awesome. All right, thanks, guys. All right, so welcome back to another broadcast of Paradigm Shift Central. If you happen to be new or otherwise, and obviously if you are new, then welcome for the first time. Again, this is a project that we've been doing for quite a few years, and I'll just explain a little bit in the beginning, and then we'll get right into passing the talking. Stick around. So, first of all, this is the first broadcast that we've done in the past couple weeks. There is a little bit of a hiatus, and a big reason behind that is because there was a lot of work that I was doing relative to the Paradigm Shift Central Team Patreon, which I'll talk a little bit about later in the show in terms of some regular updates and everything within the project. But again, it's always exciting to be able to continue to step back into these team building broadcasts to be able to help get the momentum going. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone being involved with this. And I know that this is kind of like a really radical thing in today's day and age, people coming together through the use of digital technology to be able to continue to work together, to be able to help shift the paradigms. But I just appreciate those of you who hear the call and who continue to add their own momentum to this simply by listening, simply by being involved, and simply by carrying the shift where they are. So again, let me just double check some. Just need to check the back end stuff, and I'm just literally just making sure the broadcast is running, and it should be fine, but it just didn't refresh right away. So okay, so ParadigmShiftCentral.com is again a real-world interactive game to help shift consciousness, and part of the ways how we do this is by documenting the shift and by continuing to inspire one another to be able to take real-world action through acts of shiftivism, such as free hugs, by creating physical paradigm shift communities across the globe, which there are numerous amount of, and by being able to encourage each other to create our own art, to be able to create quest journals that we share through the main website, and to just be able to continue to be ourselves and to be able to express ourselves, and in turn give others permission to do so as we continue to awaken to our potential within the dream. So there's a lot to this project, and yeah, it's something that continues to unfold over time. So thank you guys again for tuning into this. Thank you for allowing me to get back into the habit of doing the broadcast, even though it's only been 2 weeks. It's just like, all right, this is all just practice. This is all just practice. So I appreciate you guys being here. This broadcast won't necessarily be a super long one. Again, there's been kind of a lot of work happening in the back end related to the Paradigm Shift Central Team Patreon. And related to that, I just want to mention that for those of you who sign up for the Patreon in the coming future, all Patreon signups are entitled now to a Light Guardian crystal, and such as one that I'm wearing. And so again, the Light Guardian crystals are available to all the Team Patreon supporters, and the Patreon is available as a pay what you wish between $3 to $5 a month to support the project, which is entirely free for the community. And with that, you get your Shifter Booster Kits. And within the Shifter Booster Kits, you have your shift buttons. And I'll mention this. Part of the news within the recent updates within the broadcast is that we've added the addition of some new designs to the shift buttons, which include some artwork by our friend Lewis Dyer. And so that's just one of the buttons that he does. And you can check that out at lewisdyer.com. And stay tuned, because we will be getting more into the habit of adding more featured artists within the community over time to the buttons. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, the Patreon has been a primary focus over the past couple of weeks, but prior to that, we did have a very successful broadcast back on November 9th. And I just want to say that I'm really proud of what we accomplished with that broadcast. There was a lot of great feedback from it. And for those of you who hadn't heard it, that was the one related to healing beyond sexual assault and creating consent culture. And one second here, I'm just sending someone a link to be able to join. So yeah, again, just much love and shout out to everyone for being involved with that discussion. Obviously, that discussion doesn't end with that broadcast. And what I want to be able to do within this broadcast is just kind of like recalibrate our focus within this project to be able to really utilize like how this game can be played. So again, like within the past couple of weeks, because I was working so much on the Patreon, like I haven't been as active in terms of like monitoring and leading the project quite in the same way. So this broadcast is a way to be able to recalibrate our focus. And so parts of that will be through the ongoing engagement within the Paradigm Shift teams, such as the mental health team. So yeah, just like relative to last broadcast related to the healing beyond sexual assault and creating consent culture, I'd love to see those conversations continue through the Paradigm Shift mental health team forum as well as the other team forums that we'll be continuing to activate as we kind of go through this. So bear with me if it feels like I'm just kind of getting my bearings back. There's a lot going on, and honestly, like I'm a little tired at the end of the week, but nonetheless, we're here and we've shown up, and that's the important thing. And we're gonna make the most of this. And we're gonna pass the talking stick around in a second to be able to have shifters here share a little bit in terms of updates, in terms of what the shift looks like from their end of things, what they have been doing to help assist with the shift in consciousness, and anything else they would like to bring to the circle. And then from there, we're just going to kind of open it up into some free flow practice conversation. And then from there, we'll probably keep this broadcast fairly short, and eventually we'll do a tarot card reading for the team, and then we can close with a micro meditation at the end. But before we do that, let us just do a micro meditation here and now as we begin to step into our introduction. So thank you everyone again for joining us, for being here. So just invite you guys to just take a moment here amidst all the excitement to just close your eyes, relax, and we'll just connect with our breath just for a few moments. So just in your own silence. Just allow your breath to bring you to that place of calmness, place of stillness. So amidst all the noise, amidst all the excitement, allow us to just use this moment to align with our collective intentions, to reflect on the bigger reasons as to why we are here within the happenstance of this broadcast, why we are here on Earth at this time. And just reflecting with that bigger story and just how heart-opening that experience is to be able to continue to step into our duty as leaders, as shifters, as light guardians. So just take a couple moments here, connecting with your breath, just in silence for the next few breaths. Go ahead. Just one more deep breath. Awesome. So just allowing this calmness to be present with you during the broadcast. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you. Awesome. All right. So again, thank you everyone for being here, and yeah, just taking a moment here to step back and just kind of like set the intentions. You know, the intentions behind this project is basically the idea that all of us have the potential to help change this world. And the ways that we do that are by being present within our own journey and by being aware of those around us and by realizing the potential that we have within. That's a big part of this project, is that within the many layers of it, this is very much about, as we've said, helping us become better dreamers within the dream, helping us realize how much our thoughts create, helping us connect to those bigger spiritual ideas of understanding that everything that the universe gives us along our path is there to make us stronger, is there to evolve our consciousness. And so there's a lot to this story of being here at this time. And again, I think it's very admirable to be able to reflect on how we can be of service to others within our community. So within the context of this project, again, the primary objectives are to be able to create paradigm shift communities, which again, we are encouraging and helping inspire people to do. Anyone can do that. We are encouraging people to practice documenting the shift through their own creative expressions that we refer to as quest journals through the main website or any other form. We encourage people to get out there in their community doing things like free hugs, and we just encourage people to engage in conscious discussions such as what we're doing here tonight, to be able to practice talking about the things that we don't normally get a chance to talk to. And through this cohesion, through this helixing of coming together as community and helping hold each other accountable and helping continue to inspire each other, holding each other accountable to our deeper promise as to why we are here. Not just any sort of promise. There takes no promise to be involved with this project, but if you're involved with this project, then it's definitely likely related to the promise that you've made on that higher soul path. And this project is here because it's a nexus point for us to be able to find each other through it. So, and again, it's a crazy world out there, and it takes a team to be able to shift the paradigms. So rebirthing Babylon from within is kind of what we say here. So going into the heart of ourselves and being able to change things from the inside out. So awesome. All right, so I'm just going to do some quick updates, and then we'll pass the talking stick over to whoever wants to volunteer to go next. And again, we'll go through introductions. I don't expect them to be that long. I don't expect this entire broadcast to be that long. I'd actually like to keep it within 2 hours. And yeah, and then from there, we'll just kind of open up into some free flow discussion, and we'll keep our eye open for like any topic suggestions from anybody in the live chat as well. And yeah, and then from there, we'll just kind of close it off and get some rest and get ready for what's still ahead. And we'll come back next week. Next week, stay tuned for the topic for the next broadcast, whether it's going to be another team building circle. It may be a dream class. I'm feeling like it may be worthwhile to do another dream class next week. But then there's definitely going to be an admin meeting coming soon. So thank you for your patience with that in terms of me scheduling the broadcasts. As we kind of get back into the flow of things, they will be mapped out more ahead of time. So in terms of quick updates on my end, again, my name is Brendon. I'm with Paradigm Shift London, Ontario, Canada. And we do our regular Paradigm Shift meetups on Fridays. We were recently doing them at a cafe, the Ground Up Cafe down on 717 Richmond Street in London, Ontario, Canada. Shout out to them. And again, those meetings have been going well. They're going great. Because of the hours changing at the Ground Up Cafe, we have recently switched a new location that is called the Tea Lounge, and it's actually just like right around the corner. And it's been really nice to be able to observe how the change in location can affect the meetings. It just like affects like the ambiance of it, and that's like an important thing to just be able to remind ourselves of, like how much setting can actually affect a discussion, how much like gentle music in the background or a comfortable place to sit on can help us anchor into sometimes deeper conversation. Whereas sometimes those places are harder to access when you're in like a noisy cafe sometimes. So now at the Tea Lounge, though they're not there every week. But for those who are interested, you can check out facebook.com/Paradigm Shift London. And again, that's London, Ontario, Canada. So those are updates relative to the community. And again, we're still getting new people coming out. And again, we've been having some really great discussions, talking a lot about, like, last week we were talking a lot about being able to, like, really deepen into our trust and overcoming fear and acknowledging, like, our own vulnerability and finding strength through that. And so, yeah, those hangouts are going well. And I'll give you guys more updates on those in coming weeks. And in terms of my own updates, yeah, like I said, since the last broadcast, really just been focusing a lot on creating things for the Paradigm Shift Central for the Paradigm Shift Team Patreon Shifter Booster Kits. So that includes making thousands of buttons and also making a lot of the Light Guardian crystals. But again, that's been, like, for me, I put a post about this, I just felt really proud of myself in terms of what I accomplished, because I knew getting into it that I was taking on a big workload, but I was also very energized, and I felt, like, good in terms of being able to focus my energy towards the productive creation that evidently paid off. And there's still a lot more work to do, but it was just a good chance for me to be able to acknowledge that, like, hey, I got all this energy, where do I put it? And putting it into creative work was something that I enjoyed doing, and it's something that I've done, in many different ways, but just recently was another example of it. So yeah, so those are basically the updates. Other than that, I will say is just reminding you guys that in the coming weeks, things are going to get very exciting with the new Star Wars movie coming out. So obviously Star Wars The Last Jedi is coming out, and I plan to do a new video related to Star Wars in the coming weeks. So you can stay tuned for that. Another thing, if you hadn't seen it yet, the recent video that I posted of the Mystic Spider-Man video that I did on Halloween, that's online now. And yeah, I'm really happy with that one. That was, like, again, just like another awesome experience of going out there and doing free hugs as Mystic Spider-Man, and just, like, really showing people that we can be real life superheroes, and real life superheroes do exist, and sharing the inspiration through that way. So yeah, that's basically all the updates I have from my end of things. So yeah, with that said, I will happily pass the talking stick around, and thank you guys for being here, and thank you for your patience. And yeah, I look forward to being able to continue to hear what all of us are up to, and doing this as we continue to document the shift and continue to be part of this real world story as we continue to level up within the game. This is all bonus XP right now. So, all right, who would like to take the talking stick first? Whoever would like to go, either just raise your hand or just feel free to notify me in some way. So Bryan could go first. I think he's just being polite by just, like, seeing if anybody else wants to go first too. So does anybody, just double checking, yeah, if anyone else wants to go before pass it over, we'll do that. So Bryan, let's pass it over to you. And again, you can just give us a little rundown on, like, what the shift is looking like from your end of things, any new revelations in terms of shiftiness and things that you're working on to help assist with the shift where you are. So Bryan, good to see you again, and welcome back. And I'll pass the talking stick right over to you, brother. So go right ahead.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I went to the People's Potluck in Detroit last Monday, and it's kind of like what happened with Occupy Detroit, decayed into, like, or transformed, not decayed, but, like, a lot of people are there, they're political activists and stuff, but they're very open to art. It was an open mic, and it was really fun. I got to read some poems. I was really nervous, but I'm getting better. This podcast helps me a lot, and that's what they said too. Like, it's all part of practicing, like being there is practicing, and being here is practicing too. And I got to sell an art piece like this one right here. It was laminate. It's like, it can be a placemat or an incense ashtray. Like, you burn incense on top of it, and it collects the ash. But I can make them in color too. Doesn't matter. But this one's in black and white. And then I print the back side of it, and it's got all my information on it that I wanted to say. But it can be anything. I've only made about 15 or 16 of them, and lately what I've been doing, I like making mass amounts of art when I feel inspired to do it. And I made about 100 of these faces. They all say a different caption, but I just went through them all, and I got about 42 of them here that are paradigm shift central worthy, you know, in my opinion, that aren't like, I'll just grab a random one. Let's see. Hopefully it's not too offensive. Let's see here. Yeah, that one. Life's meaning is finding meaning. Express yourself. You know, it's just like positive shit stuff. Excuse me. But this is me right now. What is this? No, okay. Yeah, aside from that, I'm doing great. I just found out that my wife's pregnant. So that's really exciting news. Yeah. It's early on, not that many people know about it, but I'm willing to share it with you guys because it's getting later on to start telling people. And it's like, wow, my life's going to be upside down, like in a good way, in less than 9 months. And that's a paradigm shift in my own central right here. So that's all I got to report right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryan, and congratulations to you and your wife. That's very exciting. So,
thank you.
I mean, that's a big paradigm shift in itself, right? The idea of like fatherhood and everything. So,
no, it's weird to think about that. Like having someone with half your DNA and then half their DNA. Like you're in love with this person, and you're gonna see an entity, boy or girl, you don't even know. That's, you know, half of you, half of her. It's just so weird.
Yeah, I mean, that in itself is just like one of the trippiest things. Like you're basically just like, yeah, like they're you, man. Like your baby is just like a fractal version of you. So,
you know, I think about like when, I don't know if like fungus or, you know, I think about it biologically too. You know, like if you're the last child in your family, you're the last male or you're the last female to exist on that branch since life has begun. Which is like deep to think about, like how far we are to go and where we're from right now, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, she's doing in August or July. We don't quite know, but we're figuring it out.
Awesome. A possible Cancerian baby. So very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Dude, I'd love to let's kind of like put like even just like the concept of like the miracle of birth. We can kind of like jump back around that topic later in the broadcast if we would like to.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, just like the idea that like humans are literally like fractal making machines, spiritual, physical, biological machines. So like it's so crazy, man. Like just the whole concept of creating life and again, you know, then you can get into the idea of like I'll just say this, and again, like within this broadcast, like again, just keeping things much more casual and relaxed. If we're kind of going places between introductions, I'm okay with that. Honestly, at this point, guys, it's totally cool. So I'll just throw in an idea because it's a paradigm shifty idea, and I've mentioned this in like old broadcasts, but it's just like one that I feel a lot of people don't think about. You know, we always talk about this idea of how, you know, what are the odds that we were born? Like if it was like 1 in a million sperm and we were that one sperm that made it, like that's the difference between like me. And if it was a different sperm, it would be like another person who may or may not be sitting here talking to you right now. Right. And people are just like, oh my God, man, that blows my mind. And like, I get where they're coming from. And I admit I used to kind of like follow that logic. And then as I kind of got deeper into spirituality, I was like, wait a second. Like maybe it doesn't actually work that way. Like maybe who we are isn't literally determined by like what sperm does or doesn't make it to the egg. Like what if regardless of what sperm makes it to the egg, it's like the soul essence that comes through that will actually like determine who it is that is being born and everything. So it's just like, if another sperm came through, like, I don't know, maybe I would be like slightly different. Maybe my eye color would be different if that's like scientifically how it works. But like from that soul perspective, that soul has already agreed to be able to come through into the vessel of the body and everything like that. So yeah, it's just kind of an interesting idea, because then you get into this idea, and again, this is, you know, I'm talking to Bryan here as well. To Byron is here as well.
Hey, I got something to pitch in. Like,
okay, I'll just say this. I'll pass it to you, Bryan.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it just kind of like gets into the idea that where we are in the present moment, it's almost as if like our future children are like working through us and are like actually like almost like guiding us towards things from like this non-linear time is a circle type perspective. So like a person that you might possibly have a child with in the future, like that child as a soul could like be present and kind of be like moving you towards certain things, whether or not you're fully consciously aware of it or not. I don't know, man. Our future babies, our guardian angels, is basically what I'm putting out there. So just like theoretically, Bryan, go ahead.
There's a few things. You can't have just one sperm peck at an egg. It's several sperm pecking the egg, but only one gets through. That's true. And then with the DNA, the thought exercise just came about is something I never thought of before. Like it's like a identical twin / fraternal twin. Because when you're talking about if a different sperm, I'm talking statistically here with DNA, you know, like a sibling they say is about 50% you. You're 50% your dad, 50% your mom, but you're about 50% your sibling as well. Sometimes you're more related to your sibling, sometimes you're further away. But if it was the same egg and a different sperm, you'd be about 75% you, because it's the same egg but different sperm. So different sets of DNA matching together. And I honestly wonder if you know, like virus, fungus, plants, and animals are all their own like alien. You know, like and then gender is just made up too. You know, it's a way to help survive by mixing up DNA more often, and rather than saying asexual. That's the whole point of gender. But to have this branch, you know, I think before me, my mom had a succession of females since the beginning of females. And then my dad had a succession of males all the way into the beginning of males. So it's like we're all one. You know, that's like what I'm getting at. All right, I'm done. I'm blabbering too much. Let someone else talk.
All right, on the topic of babies, just passing the talking stick to the open circle, and then we can catch up with introductions as we keep going. So, anybody, Anna, do you want to say something about babies? Go ahead, Anna. Let me just get your microphone real quick. When you're ready, go ahead. And hey, Anna, welcome to the team circle.
Hey, how you going? I could say a lot of things about babies. It's really strange that this has come up because in the last week or so, I've been trying to gather my own understanding on metaphysics and stuff. And within my family, we've really been discussing a lot of, hypotheticals and stuff like that. And we were only just, yesterday? Yeah. Talking about the fact that that spark that happens when, at the time of conception is what I think, or we think, determines who we are. You know, so, and okay, so for example, when I was pregnant with my second last one, my partner was telling me about his pop, which who was really important to him. He passed away, and that, and not long before Daniel was conceived, he had passed away, and we decided to incorporate his name into Daniel's name and all of that. And then as Daniel has grown, within myself and particularly his Michael's family, Mouse's family, have noticed so many similarities between his pop and Daniel. It's like he's been reborn. So I don't know. That's an interesting sort of theory.
Yeah, totally. I've definitely thought that in similar ways, like how our again, just as a relative example to myself, like how my nephew, I've thought about that. I'm like, is my nephew my grandfather reincarnated? Like, is that the thing, right? Like, because I mean, you know, you get into this idea of soul families and stuff like that, and it would make sense. You know, it would make sense that like as a soul unit to kind of grow, that you would kind of like keep coming back, and you'd keep coming back, and you'd practice playing these roles. And you know, as you get into spirituality, like that's the idea. It's like based on the fact that we're at this point within the timeline we can assume that we've already played like multiple roles. So I mean, you're like, yeah, like I've already like I've been the grandmother, like I've been the grandfather, and like I've been the daughter and stuff like that. And so I mean, it's all really interesting. But I feel that that idea of what you're saying with your children, yeah, I feel that's definitely a very, very interesting idea. And just the fact that you like intuitively like were like already kind of called to incorporate the name. Yeah, I feel like it could be kind of that idea of time kind of reverse engineering itself. So you naming him that, and if everything you're saying is like noticing these similarities, and let's assume it is true, then like you naming him that is obviously not a coincidence, but it's like the future kind of rippling back into your present, and that's why it all syncs up and stuff. So no big deal. It's like, how could it be any other way? Like, so yeah. Oh, that's cool though. That's cool. Sweet. Anybody else want to say anything crazy about, or okay, I'll just say this and then I'll pass the talking stick around. If anybody else wants to, we can talk about like babies and the miracle of birth and stuff like that. And just, I mean, seriously, like the literal process of like a soul coming into the body, like it's the craziest thing when you think about it, because it's like this like commitment to be able to experience this physical dimension that you like lock into. Like it's like, oh, you want to experience what life is on Earth? Like, okay, but like you have to be born. Like you literally have to like choose to be inside of like this vessel for what could be quite an extended period of time. But one thing that I heard from a friend of mine, this is trippy, and maybe you guys haven't heard about this, but at the moment, like when the sperm enters into the egg, or it like breaks like kind of like the surface of the egg, apparently there's like a spark of light that happens or something, or it's like when the sperm actually like enters into the egg, like I don't know, it's something along those lines, but somebody's saying like there's literally like a spark of light that occurs. Like, don't ask me like who did the scientific study that found this out, but again, like it's like, is this true, is this not true, I don't know, but I mean just the idea of it is just like, huh, right? Like, because like what is actually going on there? Yeah, there's a couple other things I could talk about, you know, again, just with the idea of like what like the whole within, and I'll pass, I think Anna might want to say something too, but again, like one idea related to birth that really fascinates me is the idea that within the body of like within the fetus, as it's growing into maturity, the pineal gland develops within the fetus at like 48 days, give or take. And apologies for that number not being accurate, but there's a very specific number, and I'm just having trouble remembering it off the top of my head. But that number actually corresponds to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, with the idea that 48, that number is actually like the amount of days that it takes for a soul to like go through a reincarnation process type thing. So it's yeah, no, there's like all these like kind of correspondence, and it would make sense again, kind of from a spiritual perspective, if you're thinking about it, that the soul actually would enter the body in correspondence with the pineal gland developing, because again, that's where you get into this idea of like, what is the pineal gland, which is like a huge key within a lot of this metaphysical remembrance. I feel is once you kind of begin to know that the pineal gland is there, it starts really connecting the dots. And yeah, so like the pineal gland is kind of like that idea that it's kind of like the Stargate for the soul to kind of come in through. So it's, once that Stargate's built, once it's like grown within the body, and again, like the fact that it's like super small doesn't even matter, right? Like it's all fractals, so like that's all it needs, and then that's where the soul literally like enters in through, if that's like one way that we want to think about it. But yeah, what do you guys think? And I'll put your microphone up if there is more stuff that you wanted to say, or we can just keep passing it as we keep going. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, as far as that spark is concerned, yeah, they've actually, I'm pretty sure they've actually sort of photographed the actual moment, obviously under my microscope or something. And Mouse, what did you say? It was a Swiss research team, I believe.
I'm pretty sure it's a Swiss research team that proved that exists.
Yeah, that proved that actually exists. And we were just discussing that perhaps the reason Daniel shows so many traits or whatever of his grandfather is that he said to me, I never got to meet him, and he said, you know, oh, I wish you had met my grandfather. You and him, you know, would have just got along so well. And it, maybe it felt like we just pulled his soul from wherever it was, you know, and then he became part of our family too. And it was meant to be that way because, you know, he's meant to be there to guide me or us, and then us to further on guide him further on, you know. So yeah, I just thought I'd add that.
Totally. Well, thanks for confirming the research behind that, because yeah, like again, I think that's just like all these little dots, and when you start connecting them, it starts like mapping out just like a broader understanding of like the journey of the soul and everything. And again, you know, like a lot of people don't even talk about stuff like that because it's just kind of like this mystery, but I feel that there actually is almost like a science behind the soul that can be observed when you start like looking at it through a certain lens. I just want to give a shout out within the YouTube chat, and just a reminder for anybody in the YouTube chat, please feel free to leave your comments in there or any questions. Joe left a comment. He is saying, is it possible that a soul can choose a vessel if after those days in development, the vessel meets the soul's requirements? So I think Joe's kind of saying that, you know, like, is it possible for a soul to choose a vessel once the fetus has developed and it kind of like meets what the soul is requiring? I would say the simple answer to that would be yes, but the extended answer to that would also be kind of the understanding that the soul wouldn't necessarily like even need to kind of like go through a process of figuring out whether or not this was the right vessel for it within that 48-day period or however the birthing process period in general, because at least, and again, this is just my way of thinking about it. The whole point of this broadcast is to think for yourself. And again, I'm just another you putting out ideas out there. We're all just trying to figure it out, right? But again, from what I've kind of explained, my way of understanding it is that, you know, when the soul's literally choosing to come into a body, it's not choosing it on a whim. It's literally choosing it from like a top-down perspective where it already is aware of what its entire life has the potential to be. Like, it's already aware of its dharma. Like, I chose to be, using myself as an example, Brendon chose to be Brendon because he knew that like Brendon could be who Brendon is now. Like, it wasn't this idea that like I chose to be me on the off chance that I might be able to accomplish what I'm doing now. But in fact, like, I specifically, and this is where it gets into the idea of like souls choosing our parents and stuff like that, I specifically chose not only to be me, but I chose to have my parents so that I could have those relationships, so that I could have those experiences, so that I could experience the dharma of what this life evidently is for me, which is exactly like what I've created to be. But again, within all that, it's not to say that there's like no free will, but it is this process of us kind of like living out a pre-mapped dream that already exists from like a non-linear multi-dimensional perspective, and then we are present within the dream, and within the dream we still like have this experience of being able to have our own free will within the present moment. And I mean, we could talk about free will as a whole nother topic in itself, obviously, but yeah, like I definitely, again, you know, that because then it gets into the idea of like we choose our own names, you know, like our souls choose our own names. And oftentimes it will seem as if our parents are choosing the names for the kids. But then sometimes you get into stories where the parents are just like, I don't even know where that name came from, but I just knew that that was the name for my child. Or they'll literally say, you know, it came to me in a dream, and I just knew that that was what their name was going to be. Or even, again, you know, different parents talking about literally dreaming of meeting their child before they're born, which is like an experience in itself. And sometimes, you know, in some accounts, like the soul of the child might appear as just like an orb in that sense, but still being able to adhere, still being able to like interact through some form of intelligent conversation, which again, obviously is possible within the dream space. So yes, within the dream space, you can talk to your future babies and lots of other stuff. So just opening that up. So just shifting those paradigms. You know how it is. So all right, let's keep passing the talk and stick around. If anybody else has anything to talk about related to like what we're talking about now in terms of shifty ideas related to souls and babies and stuff like that, please feel free to raise your hand, or just let me know in the comments for those of you who don't have your video up and stuff like that, and then we'll keep going with the talk and stick around for other introductions. Does anybody else want to get into like crazy theories about souls and stuff like that? What do you guys? I mean, I know we can talk about this. All right, somebody practice saying something if they would want to. There, okay, there, sweet. Vincent, I'm gonna pass it over to you, and Vincent, you can share whatever you want to share, and then from there you can we'll segue it into an introduction for yourself again, where you can just talk about you can just say who you are, where you're from, and what you're doing to help assist with the shift and anything else. We'll take it one step at a time though. So Vincent, I'm passing it over to you. So any added thoughts related to what we were kind of talking about? Go ahead and welcome, man.
Okay. Share my experience with a lot of things that you guys were talking about as far as like the bird sparks of life. It's kind of close to my own being. This is going to go right along in with the shift. Especially the past couple of weeks, I've been feeling the energy that's been coming about. Also in sync with a lot of the apostles and the spiritual leaders that are out there, that are the cards and my experience. First off, when I was born, I have a ring, which I revisited during a meditation from air into my body. Born. My mother said she wanted to name me after an angel, but my dad said, no, I'm going to name you Vincent. You know, he's my dad. He was from the Navy and everything else. Further along in my life, after I got out, I had a surgery. I needed that I had in the military. During that time, I see myself as an older. I knew that it was me standing in front of me, and as I was trying to explain and tell what I was seeing, she didn't see it. Getting the surgery went great. Since the surgery, I've been on this path to learning about spirituality. So I went back my religion, and what's coming out of that religion, found once again the spirituality, the connection, a lot of the spirits. And more, we can feel a lot of energy. I can feel the energy. Yes, there's a tugging on my. There's some resistance coming from somewhere. Which one of you guys is coming from? I know it's coming from somewhere. So let me slow down on that. I also went into my astrology chart. And what I was doing is I was checking. I check spirits whenever I go into different topics. I check the spirits. How is it making me feeling? Am I feeling like this is me? Is it helping me? Is this part of the life path? And in the chart, there's literally a lot of in the chart. I've got on my birth, it's literally like there was a specific point to be born because of the way the planets aligned. So this chart, and I'm looking up these different things, these signs, these different shapes and stuff, even determine what all of them in my chart mean. So as I get to meditation and I get into these, I'm learning that a lot of I have a calling, a specific that spiritually I knew exactly why I was going into this body. This body was chosen to survive through that injury. Another thing is I was drawn to guys. I was drawn to you, Brandon. We were doing before, and from what your path that you've been on, this is exactly where Yeah, I don't mean to sound like a, you know, like a, like a, you know, but that's part of this. I can see it, and I can tell, and with this, biggest things out of, I use my chart as a specification, as a because it's something that we can all relate to. The planet is in Aquarius, and it's in Jupiter. Jupiter is in Aquarius, and that planet, I have 4 distinct planets where they're very strong energy, and that's pointing to the future. A lot of my dreams, a lot of the things I'm also trying to prepare for the future. One of those things, you know, I'm picking up all the different relationships that I have for specific, for the children that are going to come in. That I also think about are the what does our what does a revelation mean? Back to that, where are we getting? A lot of stuff is pieces that are coming together. Go aha moment. Man is, a lot of people are having that, and I can feel those. I can feel those energies where we're together and we're moving in the same path. Is doing right now, as far as like a species, a complete species, we are practicing, we're showing our kids how to live out in space as if we're going to Mars. We already have the paths, and to change Venus where it'll be beneficial for all of us, planet. And it may sound like out there. That's the reason why a lot of people is because their mindset is already ahead. They're living a lifestyle. They're ahead of where here. So for example, I'm thinking, okay, well, we're gonna need to communicate in an efficient way. We're not hung up on so much of how much we have, but rather going with what we have. I can see that this paradigm shift group here, part of that. Rather they're directly moving with it, or they're being, because that we have no control over are moving in that direction anyway. So basically, I feel what you're saying with the children in the reincarnation. Reincarnation, that's been taught to us for so many years. We've seen that, and feel like I've had the experience of this planet. This, I mean, I can't. This is the scar from the surgery, and I'm up walking around. It never really happened. To be able to explain that, I take my seizure of missing tissue, the scar tissue, but other than that, it's like I would tell if I didn't tell you. Having a specific purpose on here, yes, I can affirm and agree with you guys that the spirits will choose a body to do their mission. So that's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Vincent, for sharing and for introducing yourself as well. So yeah, no, I mean, again, man, I totally just I appreciate you just like mentioning that, the idea of just like us kind of aligning with each other as a group, because a lot of us here do kind of like feel that there's like a bigger purpose as to why we're here individually, and just being able to like have those conversations and being able to explore that. And yeah, like the astrology stuff that you're talking about, like totally like that absolutely gets into that. And again, you know, I think it all goes back to the idea of just like noscite ipsum, know thyself. So like when you can begin to understand your nature from an astrological perspective, it actually helps you understand your purpose, which I think is kind of like what you were talking about as well. So Vincent, maybe just like within kind of just like passing the talking stick back to you, if you can just do like just an additional introduction in terms of you know, like maybe within the team, like what you feel that you would like to kind of like bring to the team, if that's a fair question. Like basically like what some of your skills and what some of your specialties are. Because I know we were talking about some of this stuff like off air as well, but you can just kind of like introduce yourself in that way. Because there's going to be like, believe me guys, there's no limit to the things we're working on, and we're looking for people to get involved with like a variety of things. And that's what the shift teams within the project are about. And that's why we got the social media tactics team. And, you know, I want to be able to like work with more of you guys with like back end coding and management and all sorts of important stuff that's going to take time. So Vincent, let me just pass it back to you and just, okay. Do you want to, are you busy at the moment? Vincent, I think Vincent's on. You're just on mute right now, man. So I can't hear you, but I can see you're just kind of being pulled in two directions at the moment. So let me just double check here. Go ahead. Yeah, just confirm, Vincent. Do you want to step away, or do you guys step away, or do you want to say hi still? All right. Okay, we'll catch up with Vincent in a second. No worries. All right. So we'll keep passing the talking stick around though, and maybe I'm not sure if Anna is still there. Okay, she is. Cool. Yeah, Anna, since you already had the talking stick already, but we didn't do like an official introduction stuff, would you like to do introductions and everything? Cool. And I know Anna does have a special guest there with her, and if she would like to introduce the special guest, you're more than welcome to do so. So Anna, let me just pull up your microphone, and welcome back, Anna. Go right ahead when you're ready.
Hi, thanks. I just wanted to say first that by the end of this broadcast, my cat is going to have kittens. She's telling me right now that I have to go down and sit with her.
Oh, wow. Speaking of babies,
so
right?
How strange is that? Yeah. All right, so I'm Anna. I'm from Australia. My partner Mouse has decided to join us and whatnot. I don't know if he'll have much to actually say, but at the moment, because he's just sort of feeling it out and seeing how it works and that. But do you want to come and sit over here for a second? I'll introduce you. This is Mouse. Hi. Hey, so what we're doing at the moment is sort of just focusing on building our own family community. We're bringing the kids into a lot of our discussions. Like I said before, I'm developing my understanding of metaphysics. All right, Mama, I'll be with you soon. And like we were just discussing with our 12-year-old the other night, what was it? What is the answer? To the life, universe, and everything. To life, the universe, and everything. And of course, Mouse comes up with 42. Anyone who's seen, will know what that means. Anyway, we challenged him that if, just as sort of a fun joke, that if in his science class he's asked the question to answer 42 and see what the science teacher said. And he did that the very next day. He come home and he said, you know what, I did. And we were like, oh, what did she say? And he said, oh, she just said no. That's, I was like, oh, that's not the answer we wanted. But, hey, he was just having a bit of fun with it. What else? I had a list written down. I'm developing my skills on getting kids to meditate, like how to get them to sit still for 5 seconds and regather themselves, because we all know kids have lots of energy. So I've just developed a thing where I'll guide them through a meditation if I can get them to lay down and sit still, and then they can draw me. I encourage their imagination during it. And at the end, they draw me a picture of what they've seen, and we put it up on the wall, and we go from there. So we also went out to the airport. We were only there for an hour. We did our first just me and the kids. We did our first free hugs thing, and we didn't get much engagement, but lots of looks. And Ronan had the free hug sign at one point in the pram, and an older fella, as he walked past, just sort of like smiled and rubbed Ronan's head on the way past and stuff. So that, you know, we're still developing the confidence to get out in public and bring other people in. But at the moment, yeah, we're just focusing on strengthening our spiritual bond within our family. So, yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Anna, and thank you, Mouse. And yeah, I think you guys are an awesome reflection of just kind of like what like the benefits of being able to just see how like a family can evolve spiritually together. And again, just going back to the idea, like we're all interconnected. So like as Anna, as you're learning, your kids are learning, and now like with Mouse being there and everything, like I can feel there's like a lot of potential, and there's a lot to just like continue to go deeper into as well. So like I will say, you know, like I'm really excited, and thank you for like sharing your little videos. Every now and then Anna will send me like little videos just through Facebook Messenger of like her and some of the kids like with like free hug signs and stuff, and I really appreciate those, because again, you know, it's like that's important. It's important when not only you see what happens when you invite a younger kid to do free hugs, because usually they're like when given to them by, you know, a person who's also like excited about it, it gets them excited about it, and then, you know, they never know like how far that will go is kind of the idea. So I think it's really exciting to be able to see young kids getting excited about the concept of free hugs and stuff. But obviously, yeah, like that's just a portal to so much more. So Anna, I can pass it back to you. Go ahead. Yeah,
I feel like people are more drawn to the kids. You know, like they just think, oh, look, there's little innocent souls, oh, how sweet, you know. And I think that it's a good way to put intention into the adults, you know. All of those little kids are doing it, and you know, the kids only understand the message of passing on love to each other. There's no hidden agendas or anything like that, you know. So I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely super powerful. Like we've at some of the paradigm shift meetings that we've had here in London, like sometimes some of our friends would have like younger kids, and one of our friends, Orion, like he would like walk up and down the street with like a free hug sign, and yeah, like it wasn't like we had to like ever like tell him to do it. He was just always just like, I want to do this. This is fun. And he's aware of like the interactions and how it's making a difference. And absolutely, like, you know, it's one thing to have someone walk by and see like a full grown adult with a free hug sign, but to see a kid with a free hug sign, they're just like, there's like, oh my God, that just like sparks the feels on so many levels. So yeah.
Exactly. And because I've got a couple of children, they don't just do free hugs, or they're not just inviting other people. When they're not getting the interaction, they turn to each other and give each other free hugs. It's sort of like a game to them. And yeah, it's good.
That's good. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear they're playing the game. So that's it. You know, and again, like the game is like how many exciting people, like how many smiles can you help share throughout your day using free hugs and stuff. So yeah, no, it's fun, man. Sweet. Anna, did again, if Mouse wants to jump in at any point, I know you guys are getting busy with the cat stuff, but again, just a shout out and welcome to both of you, and happy to have you guys here. And again, if Mouse does want to introduce themselves, they can talk a little bit about, you know, like what some of their personal interests are in, or you know, even just the bigger questions of like why spirituality is important to them, or why these discussions are important to them, and just anything else that they're interested in. So yeah, at any point, just let us know, and we can do that. And even like, I don't, does Mouse want to grab the talking stick now, or do you want to wait?
Oh yeah, no, he said he'll probably do it maybe next broadcast or something. He's just totally sort of getting the feel for it at the moment. So
totally cool. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Anna, for joining. And yeah, if you got to jump out for your cat, let us know, and we can.
I'll just turn the camera off, but I'll still be here listening.
Sounds good. I don't think we've ever like had like kittens get born and live on an episode of Paradigm Shift before, so like that could be exciting.
Well, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to show you some shortly.
Who knows? Stay tuned. So sweet. Okay, Anna, thanks again. Thanks for rocking it. So
awesome. No worries. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. All right, awesome. Sweet. Okay, so we can keep passing the talking stick around, and Vincent is back, so we can pass the talking stick back to Vincent. We can just kind of sink back into that. And so Vincent, thumbs up if you're ready for that. And cool. All right, so Vincent, we're just gonna pass it back to you, and you just share a little bit about kind of what I was saying. You know, like what are some things that you feel you would like to bring to the project, and that's kind of the idea. Is that, again, you know, within this project, like yeah, like a lot of it is like, you know, going to be coming from my own ideas and things like that. But so much more of it is going to be through the brainstorming process of us working together as a team, and you guys bringing those ideas that I simply can't access on my own, and really seeing us as a collective where we're all coming together with these different puzzle pieces and these different keys that, again, is building this really unique project over the course of, you know, quite a lot of time, and just thinking, you know, not only what can Paradigm Shift look like in a month from now, but what could it look like in a year from now? What could it look like in 2 years from now? And that's where, you know, being able to have the foresight of how powerful technology is and how we can continue to utilize it is very exciting for all of us. So Vincent, I'm going to pass it back to you, and when you're ready, go right ahead. So you're good.
All right, thank you. Well, one of the things with my life is that I'm at some things and so that I'm good at is computers. I love computers. I've loved computers since I was my first computer was an Apple out of the school, and it was the you do and you knock it off in outer space. I've been interested in computers since then. Great, I'm so grateful that I didn't lose that after the surgery. So one of the things I want to bring to the table is the side of technology. I can actually see where there's a lot of places where you can actually share, and that's what, Brandon, that I wanted to bring to you is how to give something that's very practical to that we can continue to use. Um, um, there's a lot more detail, like, you know, how much it's going to cost and blah 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 blah. The main part that I'm doing right now is I'm using the chip, and I want to show you this device that I'm using. And I just did this about 6 months ago, and I was like, okay, well, you know, everyone's using the miniature chip, and, you know, well, and then once I started getting back into the quality part and, you know, discovering my purpose, I turned this thing on today and operating system on it. So it's like, okay, I came up with an idea, put it on there. My next step, I'm gonna put you know, the music bot off of I'm gonna put the music bot on this computer, run off of its own battery, its Wi-Fi, so that its own robot, so that it's playing the music, me having to computer to change it. There's that all of the alliance members that are connected to the server and change the music and add everything as they want. Something like that's this small is all of the shifters can use it, and we can stay connected. Now, there's no right now that's built for it, but the idea behind it is that this is something smaller that we don't have to carry, but we can have it. It'll keep us connected in a different way. Some other stuff that when I look at this device, it is because everyone here has questioned, okay, well, blah blah blah. Well, when you have something like this that's you can change to whatever you want, as a possibilities. Now, I'm not saying that this going to be able to process your whole entire body and make it go back in the past. But what I'm getting at is this: we can bring out those type of ideas. What I want to do is I want to bring the technological part to the shifters community on those ideas, latching the idea, the concept of what can we do with the technology that we have. Notice is we have two different types of operating system, two different bits of operating systems. You have the 32-bit and the 64-bit. Already, now that we've finished it, and we know its limits and its capabilities, can take those and we can stand on that. Technical for everybody, but that's where I would come in at. I understand the concept. I push in until it literally like breaks. Like I don't guess that's Pluto, but I want to bring the technology and another thing I want to bring the spiritual connection back in. Discover what is possible with with our connections with meditation and stuff. We can go beyond. I mean, we can people ways that we haven't before, through meditation, through prayers, through these different hidden and the religious aspect. Ended up doing is I allow people to religion, quote unquote, because it's just their belief system, and what I'm doing is I'm taking out and I'm learning what's the in the religion, what are the lessons really trying to teach? Are they trying to follow this religious concept, or are they trying to teach us what's going to help our character, make us the people that are of the future, where our children are going to go, oh, this is where we started at. The millennium, the 1,000 years of peace going to come in at. We are the forefathers and foremothers, that 1,000 years of peace. And I can see that coming out. So that's what I would like to bring to the community. It's a really, really big aspect of what that's ahead of us.
That's awesome, man. Like thank you for sharing that. Yeah, like I mean, I'm totally fascinated in just like the whole concepts of like what is possible with technology. So I mean, like the stuff that you're getting into there, like I would want to be able to talk about it further and just kind of like get a better understanding of just kind of like, what like your chip thing, for example, like what could actually be done with that, like what could be used as that as like a and how that could be integrated and stuff. But I mean, yeah, just the whole concept of technology is definitely something that I think is being able to synergize that, being able to like merge that with spirituality has always been something that innately has been very, very attractive to me. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, go ahead. If there's anything else you want to mention, go ahead.
There are 3 programming languages that are going to be core in the last system for this, because I'm gonna reflash this again. This has Ubuntu, and I'm just doing that just for the bot. Later on, after I developing the operating system for the shifter operating system. The three core programming languages are going to be Erlang. Those are going to be the core programming language, and the reason why is because C is going to be for the for the hardware. Is written in Erlang. Yes, there's a lot of there's a lot of writing in Erlang, but it's already been done. It's already been done. It works, and that's important too because of the way that Erlang works. You're interested in programming, you want to do something on the side, definitely in Elixir. There's a lot of right now in Europe about Elixir on Erlang. So I'm thinking are in Erlang the top part of it, the user are going to be in Elixir. Different parts to that, but just that put those things out there, work is going to be done. On that part, that's where it's going to take a little bit of time. As far as like the work that I do with computers, but and I have everything that I need, I can throw something in and it's going to work and it's going to be beautiful. Fine. it's like literally my mind will be 100 different places. I take like those 100 one place, it comes out and it's beautiful, and it's exactly what I've imagined. So said I know it work. Behind the backups, I mean, I'm talking about efficient. You have find one. You'll have like the scan disk, like you have something like this, and you have it like
micro SD card.
Yes, you'll have something like this, and it'll have your entire operating system on it. It'll have everything on there. Nice break. What you need to do is get this, take it out. If you lose this, and you have this, you'll have your device, and then we'll put all your information back on it. The efficiency, and I'm talking about moving like that. And I mean, like you can be sitting right over there, and then I'll go, hey, Brandon, I need an update for the new application for the shifters, and you go, okay, and it'll go. That type of efficiency.
Vincent, I was just gonna ask. Sorry, do you have do you have any experience with like app development and stuff like that yet?
I never built the app straight from the bottom to the top, but I know that once I start doing it, they're going to be good. Now, I read a lot more on Erlang, and the way that the Erlang applications work, they are supposed to be updated on the fly. I did an application. I guess you can call this an application. You send a message back and forth over internet, over a network, one node to another. I did that on Windows. So I did a Erlang application through batch file.
Okay.
Like all of the advanced stuff, no. but that's not where I come in at. Because if I build because on stacks, ones, especially like the ones on your cell phone, stacks. The idea is not to build the application on the stack, but to put it on the core level of the system as the same thing if there's the same update.
Word. Sweet, man. Yeah, it's definitely stuff I want to like spend more time with talking about like off air as well, because I think there's like a lot of details that are going to go over people's head even just within this broadcast, and even for myself, like I know just because like I'm a little bit tired right now, I'm just like, all right, I need to like sit down and talk about this a little bit more and stuff. But I would love to. I would love to. I was just saying, you know, like I would love to be able to see like how we can kind of like utilize your skills and interests and just kind of like brainstorm like, okay, like what are some practical things that we can actually start building, and also seeing if we can like get you involved with like any sort of app development that we will be doing in the future, and just kind of like helping with the brainstorming process and that in general. And that goes out to anyone, is that like, yeah, the idea of being able to like create a separate app for Paradigm Shift Central is something that we are still working towards as well. So Vincent, we're gonna just check in real quick. Anna, did you want to say something real quick? Were you waving there? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Vincent, hold on 1 second. I think Anna's just got something that she wants to say. So Anna, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that Mouse is a programmer as well, and he's also he does 3D animation and all that sort of stuff. And we were just saying that Mouse can literally quite easily turn those light guiding crystals into remember that joke we were having, you know, calling all shifters. Like we can literally do that and have them connect together and to the team map and or whatever we want to do. You know, it's possible, and you know, if with the understanding, quite simple.
Cool. Well, I like the sounds of those possibilities. So yeah. Cool. Sweet. All right. Vincent, we'll just pass it back to you, and we're gonna pass the talking stick around just to a few other people and stuff, and we can definitely talk more about this later. So is there anything else that you just want to share at the moment before we pass it around again?
Yes. Really important. Right now the world is going crazy over Java. Java and I think it's C++. Those applications, those languages, graded back into, and you can do different things with. You like, oh, I know, I only know this, or I've been working with this for like 20 years, and I'm really good at. The biggest thing is just getting the ground part of it. The part that I'm missing at is binary. Binary is kind of important right now. The operating system that I want to use for it, the guys, they developed it as a project work, but they're not developing it anymore. I've seen one that was already up, and I saw one that they were doing as a project, and the one that they're doing as a project called Hydros. I'm not sure if they're still more. So I'm balancing doing my I guess you would call it. Here, let me show you. I have a computer here for operating systems and testing. Do you guys see that? Okay. Yeah. So my desk. So those skills, any type of skills though that you guys can that you use, like we can all put in. It sounds like it's going to come out really fast. It sounds like we can we can get this thing done.
Well, yeah, let's figure out what some of the things are we want to do first, and yeah, just kind of like start simple and see what we can do. But yeah, no, man, I'm definitely interested, and Anna's nodding along too. So yeah, stay tuned for that for like everyone. Again, you know, like again, just, you know, playing the game, part of playing the game is just being able to like have these discussions and set some time for like brainstorming and everything. So yeah, we'll manage some of that stuff through the Discord server, and that's another thing, Vincent, that we can talk about as well. It's just kind of tailoring the Discord server a little bit differently, and even Anna as well was recommending that they can her and Mouse can actually help with that as well. And yeah, and again, for people in the broadcast or for people tuned into this, and you're like looking for the interaction that happens between the broadcast, that happens through the Discord server, and the Discord server is the voice chat on the website, even though it's not always voice chat. But when you're on the main website, in the bottom left corner, you'll see the button that says voice chat, and open that and then connect to that through into the Discord server. And yeah, that's like where the primary live chat is throughout the day, opposed to just the general public live chat on the main website. But yeah, Vincent, man, thank you again for being here and for adding your support to the team. And yeah, man, I look forward to being able to see what we can synergize together. So that's awesome, man. And yeah, let's just pass it around, but I'll just let you say anything that you just want to say real quick, and then we'll pass it around. So go ahead, Vincent, if there's anything else you just want. You're good? Okay, cool. Your microphone was muted there, but thumbs up works too. So sweet. All right, thanks, man. All right, so let's keep passing the talk and stick around. And again, guys, not to like try and rush things, but at the same time, yeah, like honestly, I can feel myself getting tired, and I don't want to like cheat you guys out of like the fact that like my attention is going to get fatigued. So let's just have a little bit of fun with this broadcast. We'll keep it pretty lighthearted, but we'll still, again, you know, the team building behind this is just the idea that we get to connect with each other. We get to talk to each other. We get to update each other. We get to hear like what ideas are going on and everything. And it just moves us forward in the direction. Like this broadcast is not the be-all, end-all broadcast. This is just a stepping stone to what's coming next, and what's coming next is a stepping stone to what comes after that, you know? So it's all fun, it's all games. And thank you guys again for playing along. So in this magical game we call life. So pretty exciting. All right, so let's pass the talking stick around, and I know Nick had joined us, Nick of Third Eye Horizon, and it looks like Nick's still there, and Sean's there, and we also have Tom, aka Time Lord, there. And maybe let's check in with Nick first, and then we can check in with Sean if Sean's still there afterwards. And yeah, like again, I want to be able to just like, we can brainstorm about it here, but we can just kind of like tease into some ideas, and then we can brainstorm about a lot of stuff off air as well. But again, Nick's been involved with a lot of like the social media tactics, and yeah, I know like off air we were talking about like this new website called like Rabbit, or maybe it's not new, but it's rabb.it, and I got to check it out still. But we're talking about setting up like a shared theater within the website, which we actually already do have. We just haven't fully utilized it. But I think Nick's the website that he's come across is probably going to work better. But yeah, me and Nick have always been very interested in the social media tactics, and that's definitely again something that I want to be able to put more focus towards in the future, such as being able to feature people's content through the main Paradigm Shift Central Facebook page, as well as other social media platforms, to be able to help share people's quest journals and their new media content. So within the project, you're always going to find stuff through the main website, but part of our job within the project is being able to help curate and facilitate that content out into the further reaches of the internet. So just reminding you guys, and I'll just say this real quick and I'll pass it to Nick, is that, you know, part of the bigger objectives within Paradigm Shift is you can literally think of Paradigm Shift Central as an idea of almost like a giant spaceship. And we are all on this giant spaceship, and this giant spaceship is like literally flying through the galaxies and flying through the dream. And on this spaceship, we literally have like cannons, but they're like love cannons. And part of our objective is to manage the spaceship and to be able to fire the love cannons into the internet. And so firing like the love cannons or the love lasers can be, as an example, something like creating a really awesome video and helping that video get seen and potentially even go viral. And that's kind of like what we're working together on, because it takes tactics and it takes teamwork to especially in this day and age, to be able to get things out there to people on the internet. And again, the idea behind doing that is that through that, not only does it invite people back to the Paradigm Shift Central community, it helps reach new people. Synchronicity still comes into play through the internet, and it helps inspire them. And it just like, again, it just kind of like helps accelerate the shift in that way through the power of inspirational conscious media and getting ideas out there. And again, like, you know, it could be a free hug video, and then people see that free hug video who had never seen Paradigm Shift before, and then they start doing free hugs, and then half a year later they've created a Paradigm Shift community. So like, that's part of our duty, is to help carry some of this content further out there. And again, it takes a team to be able to do that. So just putting those ideas out there. But Nick, let me pass it over to you. And yeah, good to see you in here, man. And let me just bring up your microphone, and feel free to just kind of do any basic introductions, as well as just bringing anything else you want to the circle. You know the drill. So Nick, welcome back, brother. Good to see you. And let's double check. Doesn't look like your microphone's up right now, actually. So we might have to tailor the tech on that. And I think you already knew that, possibly. So yeah, Nick, if at any point you just want to just kind of like test your microphone and jump in, just let us know. And it could be something simple. So I'm sure we'll get that figured out pretty quick. So maybe along the same lines of social media tactics, if Sean's there, we can pass the talking stick over to Sean. And again, Sean's he's managing the PSC memes 1111 on Instagram, as well as he's, again, one of the editors for the Paradigm Shift Central page. And yeah, it's always good to be able to check in with him, a fellow conscious media enthusiast. So let's do that. Sean, I'm gonna check in, and I'm gonna pull your mic up, and yeah, and Nick's just gonna see if he can get his mic working, and we'll get that figured out. Or maybe Nick has to jump over to another like his phone or something, but one way or another we'll figure it out. Sean, let me just bring up your microphone. Sean, you're still there, yeah?
Yeah, still here.
Yep, still there. Cool. Sweet. All right, Sean, I'll pass the talking stick over to you, if that's cool. Would you like to take the talking stick?
Sure.
Sweet, man.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to give us any sort of like little updates, or maybe even some potential ideas for projects that you could, that you'd like to bring to Paradigm Shift that we might be able to implement in the coming future, or any general concepts and tactics? So go right ahead, and welcome back, man. Good to see you.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to switch things up a bit, and I guess detaching from the internet. Some not by choice, but using the time to yes, try to think of ways to innovate, jump a little bit ahead of the curve. Not really, kind of waiting a couple weeks. Things are changing pretty quick. Kind of waiting to see what happens. Let's get a couple feelings. A couple other people getting some feelings. Things going to be changing a little bit in the next, I don't know, later this month. A little bit of summer next month. Let's say it should be getting interesting. But yeah, trying to think of like campaign tactics, like out there, and I guess you'd call it. Let's see, what else? Getting so comfortable sitting back listening.
Hey, does my microphone work right now?
Yeah, I mean, again, like there's a lot there that we can like brainstorm like outside the broadcast and stuff too. But yeah, man, do you have any sort of like general? I mean, again, from week to week, it seems like we're always talking about like how much the internet is changing, and just like it is becoming, you constantly kind of have to adapt to be able to like get messages out there. What do you feel would be like effective ways to be able to still get messages out there in the coming future? Like, do we need to start doing things differently? Do we need to just keep doing more of what we're doing? I mean, this is just kind of like general brainstorming and stuff, but I don't know, man. What do you think in the direction that the internet is going? How do we keep, you know, piercing through the fog of it? Come on. Sorry, Sean, you're still there? Your microphone was...
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Just covering the mic up.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, it's pretty foggy, I guess you could say. They keep finding ways to make it foggier and foggier. But man, ways to keep ahead. I mean, it's kind of doing okay now. It's just you know, just little things, little experiments, like just switching things up a little bit, like how the broadcast was like a little bit different tonight. It's kind of a little more freestylish. Yeah, like the idea of more open discussion in the future just might take some getting used to with multiple people going, so everybody doesn't start talking over each other. But I mean, man, ways to stay ahead. Always keeping track of the top apps that are out, or what's, you know, the top, moving into the top apps. We got, what is, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Miramar.
Yeah, Miramar. Yeah, that's something we've talked
Miramar.
about. Go ahead.
The new social media platform, I guess. They're trying to be a conscious form of Facebook or something like that, or maybe a little more complex. But so like when things like that come out, to kind of be first, test it out first, see if it's like a place that's going to be worth the time to put in. Definitely getting on the different apps and social media sites and things early is definitely the way to go. Before they what do you call it, Sigma 6 it, and they start charging people. Like they all start out free, and then you're like, all right, time to make money now that we're popular. So they start charging, and it gets more and more costly to promote your posts, and you start to almost have to promote your posts if you want people to see it.
Yeah.
Or you just have to be really creative. Or really good quality. I'm noticing usually gets got by pretty good. But yes,
yeah, that's part of it.
Just
Yeah,
kind of going with the flow.
word, man. Yeah, I definitely feel that, again, you know, like one thing that I've kind of like touched upon before is that because of the fact that Facebook makes it challenging to be able to let people see posts instantaneously, like that's just not how Facebook works anymore. You know, like you'll put up a post earlier in the morning and people might not see it till like later in the afternoon. So like because of that, if you were to just be like, hey, I'm live right now, a lot of times people won't see it. So again, you know, like I think something that I want to be able to continue to get more into as what we are doing, but possibly introducing new broadcasts, is to continue doing like our scheduled broadcasts. But like I want to be able to do more regular Facebook broadcasts is one thing I was thinking of, like a couple times a week. Like I would do broadcasts like at like 11:11 in the morning and then like 11:11 at night was kind of one thing I had. And to even be able to do them later in the night as just like a short 30-minute broadcast where like maybe I'm doing some reading, but also some like meditation that kind of like guides people into sleep. Because again, you know, like I feel despite the fact that Facebook isn't going to reach people for certain notifications, people will always be able to like notify themselves if they are familiar with the routine and the schedule. So, I mean, I feel like simply having a clock that we can all orient ourselves through does give us that huge advantage. And yeah, I've definitely been working with some like video like editing stuff, like on, there's a really cool software called Wordle WERBLE that I would recommend people check out, and it like really makes like doing some animation stuff cool. So I mean, doing like short animation loops is like another thing that we can just kind of get more into. But yeah, this is where like we'll pass over to Nick in a second and stuff too. But you know, back in the day, it would just be simple as like, you know, like, and even still, it wasn't simple, but right, you create a post, you put it to a page on Facebook, and then you manually have to share it in groups. I feel like that tactic, even though it's not even that old, is like probably not even as effective anymore, because when you share into a lot of groups, you also run the possibility of having your Facebook locked. And that's kind of the way how Facebook works. And that's basically what happened to me like not too long ago, where I had my Facebook locked. And Facebook won't tell you like, hey, you're not using this properly. Like if you keep doing this, you'll get locked. It'll suddenly just show up one day and just be like, oh, by the way, you're locked. And then it's just like, oh, geez, okay. So yeah, like it's very interesting. But again, I think being able to focus on like quality over quantity is definitely something we want to be able to do. And also creating those, what we're doing with these broadcasts. And again, I'm feeling called to be able to like bring back Paradigm Shift Radio, which is again, like the broadcast that we've had way back in like 2011, 2012. There's like over 130 episodes in the archive and everything. And that was through Blog Talk Radio. And it was similar to what we're doing here with the team building hangouts, but it was kind of different. And I'm still meditating on the idea if there's like a way that I can kind of create like a new version of Paradigm Shift Radio, which would be focused around like interviews and just like specific topics and stuff. But yeah, I still got to feel it out, because again, it's just like, it's a great idea, but it's really hard just in terms of being able to get that live audience and everything. So, I mean, even again, like with this broadcast, with the amount of people who we've like sent the message out to, we currently have, and again, this is just numbers, this is just so you guys are aware, there's currently 3 viewers watching this live. Now, there will be people who will watch it afterwards, but again, you know, like I want to be able to figure out how we can still do things like have awesome interactive live broadcasts for like global meditations in the future. And I know a part of that is going to be also more accessible once I upgrade to a new computer. That's going to allow me to use the open broadcast software, which is going to allow me to like run broadcasts like right to Facebook, like from my laptop, which is like currently not something that can easily be done because of my operating system and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of ideas that I think we just got to like continue to talk about. And again, that'll also happen off air as well. And yeah. Sean, let me just check in. Let me just pass over to you real quick if there's anything else that you just kind of want to share, and we'll pass it to Nick in a second. So, Sean, anything else?
No,
I can leave him alone.
Cool. Sweet.
Keep on moving along.
Yeah, man, and thanks again for helping with the PSC memes page. Like I know that is, again, you know, like it is making a difference, and I'd like to keep seeing that Instagram page grow over time, because I feel that will be like a valuable resource for you know, doing things like this, doing the live broadcasts and letting people know through Instagram. So yeah, thanks again. Man.
Yep, try to keep that going a little bit. Kind of, I don't know, it can lift my day up sometimes making memes. Like I might be in a lower mood and go looking at memes and be happier, or like if I want to make something funny or even kind of funny, I'll have to like make sure to put myself in a higher vibration first, and then everything starts coming in easily.
For sure.
And like I'll start, if I'm making myself laugh at a thought, and it's like, okay, that's gonna work.
Cool. Yeah, and again, you know, like with the coming month, that's one thing I would like to bring more attention to is the Paradigm Shift memes team, and again, just kind of like working together on that and creating like a stockpile of memes that we can begin filtering through and tailoring through social media as well. So cool, Sean. Thanks again, man. You're doing great. I really appreciate it.
That's right. I gotta get to Bryan's giant archive of pictures.
That's what I mean, man. We still got lots.
That's the only reason I haven't got to is it's so huge, and I have to go through Google Direct, I think it is, or.
Well, we can figure out a way, because I know those are also posted within the forum on the memes team as well. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I gotta remember to check back those.
Yeah, for sure, man. Sweet. Cool. Okay, Sean, thanks again, man. Awesome. Sweet. And again, you know, like within the project, like in addition to all the online social media stuff, a big thing that we always encourage in the project is like the power of offline interaction. And again, like that's where the free hugs and the shift buttons are like continuously going to be effective. So whereas, you know, again, what's in an example like this, like what's more effective? Someone scrolling through a Facebook feed and seeing a promoted post and then like seeing it for like 1 second and being like meh, and then just scrolling past it, or them being like out on the street and like seeing someone doing free hugs, going up to them and doing free hugs, and then like getting a shift button which directs them to the website. Like which one's going to be like more likely to kind of like create an impression? So again, as much as we're focusing on digital social media tactics, let us never underestimate the power of offline, human to human, heart to heart social interaction tactics in that sense to be able to invite people. So again, you know, if you're just looking to be able to share Paradigm Shift Central with more people, one of the simplest ways to do that is just by bringing it up in conversation and let people know about it. And again, you know, you're letting them know that, yeah, there's like this ongoing project and they do interactive broadcasts and you can get involved, and it's like practicing talking. And it's, again, it's about a place to be able to share your conscious media. And believe me, like ParadigmShiftCentral.com, like as a project, as a website, it is still growing into its potential. And that's something that's still like, I'm still brainstorming and still figuring it out. And it's still like a bit of a mystery to me, but I know like there's like a lot of potential there. And I think it's going to become like even more valuable as we continue to see like how much like other social media platforms are changing. And I think that's something that we're observing, right? Like it's just Facebook, people are getting bored with Facebook. Like it's just not quite as engaging as how it used to be. And again, like that's them changing their algorithms, but this is us adapting and again, you know, hacking the matrix by saying, well, that's okay because we still got our own social media platform where we can focus our attention through and do lots of awesome stuff as well. So I will just say, and I'll pass this to Nick in a second, that again, you know, I really, if people are looking to get involved with this project, one of the best ways that we can do this as a team is by all of us, as many of us as possible, getting into the habit of just like communicating on a regular basis, getting involved through the Shift Team forums on the main website, which I'll be helping reactivate, and like using the live chat and using the Discord server as well. And we do have the regular team building hangouts, like the off-air ones on Mondays. And yeah, stay tuned for those, but those are usually in Mondays in the evenings. And that's, again, just like a scheduled time during the week where we can get together and brainstorm and stuff. But eventually, like, that's just kind of something that we can do at any time. And yeah, again, I just appreciate you guys' help, because believe me, like, it takes a lot to be able to manage this project. And admittedly, like, sometimes like I'll lose track of things just because there's so much going on, but that's where the benefits of working as a team together comes into play, because being able to delegate tasks is a very, very powerful thing. So let's just, you know, keep working together and see how much we can synergize as like a collective entity that is a team, that is Paradigm Shift. So all of us have something to contribute. And yeah, this is all just practice again. So sweet. Okay, let's pass it over to Nick, and relative to the themes of like social media tactics, we can do that. And then again, from there, we can pass it over to Tom. And from there, I want to be able to just like get into a little bit of open-ended. Whoa, I just flicked my, that's fine. Flicked, it's like my cord there. Never mind. We'll get into some more open-ended discussion, just like free flow discussion, just again, to be able to practice like talking about Sasquatch or something like that. Seriously, I'll talk about Sasquatch. I'll talk about Sasquatch all day. You guys know that. So sweet. Okay, let's pass it over to Nick. And again, let's see if we can get this broadcast wrapped up. I'll say 12:30, but realistically it'll probably be 1. But it'd be great if we can wrap it up by 12:30. Nick, I'm going to pass the talking stick over to you. And I think we got the microphone working. So let me just double check here. So Nick, when you're ready, go right ahead, and welcome back, brother. So.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Sounds good, man. Go ahead.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I had to go to my phone, just my computer. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with that in Google Hangouts. Awesome. Well, yeah, everybody who doesn't know me, I'm Nick Bryce, and I'm also into conscious media, much like Brendon. And have a company, Third Eye Horizon, that is just geared towards creating and sharing social and higher conscious content. In social media tactics, you know, like Brendon and probably a good amount of you, get, you know, our message and, you know, our content that could assist in raising consciousness out there. So yeah, I've become extremely uninspired by Facebook for quite some time, but it's become more and more daunting. I feel progressively as time moves forward, and I haven't quite really felt real comfortable with other social medias just yet. Hopefully Miramar will become something that's more substantial. I really hope so. That'll be coming in about 50 to 40 days. There was like a false launch or something like a week or so ago. I didn't really understand that. So there's really no telling when that might roll around. So
Yeah,
the
that
other
was
day,
Miramar you're referring to, yeah?
right, Miramar.
Miramar,
However
yeah.
you pronounce that
Yeah.
silly thing. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm learning. I've done a lot of work with social media for probably the past going on 10 years. Starting with, I mean, like everybody posts things, but I used to promote events on Facebook with Facebook events before it got all saturated, and it was really surprisingly potent back in its early days. Like nobody would have a Facebook event, or it'd be very uncommon, and then you'd put together like a house party or something. I went to school at a state college, and you'd invite like 500 people to this house party, and you would get like 300 people to show up. Like, damn. And it would work like that, like for a good year or so. But yeah, Facebook has definitely become a much different entity nowadays, and yeah, I'm definitely not quite sure I like what it's become, and hope, you know, for better things for the future for Facebook. But it is a constantly changing platform, and you know, you could spend like a couple weeks like studying the algorithms, you know, through trial and error on a Facebook page, and begin to see patterns. And honestly, like, give it 4 months and everything could change. Like something dramatic could change in like 2 weeks worth of researching could just be like that was useful for that couple months maybe. So it can be in that regards. So that's, I'm glad, you know, we just got to keep talking about it and keep trying to find ways to get our content out there. Working together, I think, is key. You know, hopefully, again, Miramar can be a breath of fresh air for us. Oh, and I guess I'll just plug it because I got the mic right now, and because this is the interested community, hopefully. You know, a show that I'm going to be trying to put out there. I tried to do a launch of this show like a couple of days ago, but because of my mic not working, I was also using Google Hangouts to do like an interactive chat thing. Wasn't working out. Planning on doing this show now after the Mercury retrograde because it's like right around the corner. So probably late December, early January now, the show called The Numbers Report, where we discuss the phenomenon of repeating numbers and kind of gauge where people are at with their experiences of seeing significant sightings of numbers over whatever given period of time, and trying to like boil it down further and find out like, you know, maybe what kind of numbers, you know, and what durations, you know, what their thoughts or feelings were, and kind of almost like journal this. And what we would like to do eventually is compile this data on this gathered research on people's experiences with significant repeating numbers, and try and scientific article to maybe like breach that left brain part of our society to kind of open the gate, you know, to show that, you know, my theory being that repeating numbers significantly appear in, for certain people, that maybe we'll find out more information why exactly, but then can hopefully just make society be more open-minded, and just be another thing that helps to kind of shift our paradigm into, you know, a higher conscious, lucid state of reality, much more lucid state of reality. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be on Third Eye Horizon. I'll drop the YouTube or the the YouTube and the Facebook page link in the description. But that's one of like a number of ideas for shows, but that's going to be coming up pretty soon, and certainly we'll need to kind of fine tune further social media tactics with that as well. You know what, Brendon? I was thinking, and I haven't really explored too deeply into this, but trying to gather some contacts or different blog sites that share content, you know, related to consciousness. I don't know if you personally like have looked, you know, into that. Probably to some degree, I could imagine. Or like, you know, I know some people that they're really into blogs, like other people's blogs. So I haven't really gone down that road again myself. But maybe like compiling a list of like to kind of collaborate and share content with. That's been a new idea. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts or experience with working with independent blogs to share your content?
In terms of like independent blogs, it depends like how independent, but I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely like a lot of kind of a variety of conscious websites that will commonly like have like articles and everything like that. But yeah, no, I'd like to see, you know, if we can kind of like gather a collection of popular conscious blogs and just kind of like look at them as you know, just a study point for why are people like, why are they popular? Why are they, you know, like, what social media tactics are they using? Like, how are they getting out there and everything like that? So, yeah.
Certainly,
No,
you know, looking into that and possibly being able to collaborate.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It's so like, again, like, it's just, the internet is just like such like a weird place right now, like where, again, like it just seems that collaboration just doesn't really like happen in the same way anymore, and like that's kind of like something where it's just like a side effect of like how the Facebook pages work, where you know, you can share like a post from like another page and stuff, but again, like barely anybody even sees it. to begin with. And that's like kind of been the problem with Facebook, is that, and I feel like Facebook is kind of like this like giant psyops to instill like apathy and destroy creativity over time. Because, you know, for someone right now to just be like, yeah, like I want to create like a YouTube channel and everything like that, like they can, to be able to have that inspiration in the first place can sometimes be like hard to cultivate, because of just like the lack of exposure that them posting to Facebook may have, or maybe they might start it and may quickly like kill their dreams, where they're just like, you know, okay, like here I am creating this content, and then, you know, I'm just not getting the reach that I want, and then it's just like, oh well, if no one's seeing it, then why even bother? Right. And again, like, and I think that's exactly like what's happening across the board, where, you know, Facebook like wants people to kind of like give up, it seems, where it's just like, you know, it's just like you can either keep posting and no one's going to see it, or barely anybody will see it, or just give up type thing. And it's just like, no, like we can't give up. Like we have to find other ways. And so again, I think that's where like outside of this broadcast, we gotta, you know, using, say for example, like quest journals, to post those like through, you know, the internet, like what are some good tactics that we can use for getting out like a good quest journal or a conscious article from the main website. And again, like there's so many quest journals that we already have on the website that are awesome, and a lot of them even from years ago that we can still post through the Facebook page. So that's something that I want to set some time aside to be able to do some like scheduled posting, so that like say at 11:11 each day there's like a new like quest journal or conscious article from the website that somebody in the community has created that will get posted to the Facebook page, and then just again like trying to figure out like how to share them further and stuff from there. But yeah, let's talk about more of that kind of, again, just kind of not necessarily right this second, but a little bit later on and stuff. But Nick, just tell me a little bit about the Rabbit website while you're at it and stuff, because that's like something that you were talking about, and I think that's what you were using for your numbers series as well, correct?
Actually, I was still using Google Hangouts, but Rabbit could be a viable alternative to Google Hangouts. You can actually have up to 25 people in there at once, and you can share and stream any movies, videos that will simulcast, you know, at the same time without lag. Cool. So it's really cool. The layout's really good. So I'll share that in the link as well.
Sweet. Yeah, just taking a look at it. Looks pretty simple. So
yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and again kind of like what we were kind of briefly talking about earlier, like that's one thing that I would like to do through Paradigm Shift. And even again, you know, what Bryan was talking about, like the idea of having like casual shared movie nights through Paradigm Shift, where we kind of just like get together to like watch a movie and just kick back and relax. And I mean, again, I know like a lot of what we do here through the broadcast can like get pretty work oriented, but I think it's important for us to just be able to, you know, kick back and relax together and practice hanging out. And honestly, like I wish there was like, I wish there was more days in the week, is kind of just like the challenge. Because again, like part of the challenge where I feel that, you know, not only is Facebook making it harder to reach people, but I feel that in today's day and age, everyone is just like so busy all the time. And I feel like that's like part of the way that we are being influenced, or, you know, as part of our power is kind of being taken away, is that so many of us just like literally from like the time we wake up to the time we go to bed are just like so busy already, like so busy, like working jobs to be able to like pay for rent and stuff like that. And it's like, it's this,
oh my God, right?
It's this weird thing that, again, like, you know, call it growing up, call it being like an adult, call it real life, quote unquote, or whatever. But yeah, like that's where I feel part of the challenge with getting people to tune in for broadcasts like this is just the fact that people are just way busier now than what they used to be back when, you know, broadcasts like this back in like 2012 were just reaching, you know, a quite larger amount of audience and everything like that. So, but again, within our busyness, I would love to be able to, you know, have some very casual hangouts where, again, we're practicing having these hangouts, and again, those hangouts are gonna kind of evolve into just like actual ways of being able to, you know, come up with like awesome ideas or analyze and study and research and learn together. So yeah. So just kind of stating the obvious there. Go ahead, Nick. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so having some more just recreational movie watching times, you know, with, you know, the paradigm shift community could be good, or we plan like conscious movie nights. We watch like a conscious movie and then like analyze it after, just have some group discussion. Could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like was one class away from minoring in a cinema studies degree, so it's like it used to be really fun to watch like a, you know, a piece of work and then like talk about it for a while after that, and just like really, you know, boil it down and get some good theory going on behind, you know, why the movie was made, how it was made, what it means, and you know, go real deep like that. So possibly, well, at least Byron and I are down, and I think plan on doing this still, right, Byron? Doing some kind of like after party for this broadcast. We'll watch something, some kind of conscious film. We'll drop the link in the chat, and it'll be much more, you know, casual. We'll just hang out. We'll watch something.
For sure.
I feel like one last thing before I just like completely, I guess give up the mic and such. It just something that is at least pressing us a lot here in America currently is the threat of losing net neutrality. Right. And I know you're talking about Facebook having it out against, or having it out for us in terms of kind of oppressing us, which I'm not saying they don't, but you know, we've willingly gave our power to Facebook. We voted on them. We continue to vote on them as we use them. And it's kind of our problem. And, you know, at least the beauty of it, we can build platforms away from that, but that takes time and work. Neutrality, if it gets reversed, which like it's on fast track in that direction, we could then have a problem with the internet service providers really telling us what sites we can go at or check out at faster speeds, and which sites we can even check out in general, as well as just content. You know, if there's a controversial content, or say there's a video made speaking out against one of the internet service providers, you know, why wouldn't they try and like slow that down or like try and block it or something? So, you know, those of you guys in America, just be very conscious during this time over the next couple of weeks, heading up until December 14th is the time that exists before the FCC will vote on reversing net neutrality. There's an awesome website. There's at least 4 websites I'm going to drop in the chat, and I'll try and make them clear. But this website called Battle for the Net can allow you to find out how to call your congressmen or representatives. I did it myself. It only takes like a few minutes. You mostly don't even talk to anybody. You just like leave a message and just urge your representatives to try and stop FCC removing net neutrality, because that could be humongously devastating if net neutrality is lost in America. Brendon, you'll probably be fine, but we'll be struggling to get our voices heard. Maybe we'll have to go upload over in Canada somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Content.
Yeah, really scary thought.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like we struggle already enough trying to get our content out there. We don't really need, you know, some other third party coming in here and saying that we need to pay them more money so they can give us, you know, in like a cable TV package format, you know, fast access to Facebook or Google, you know, that's like the $10 a month package, you know, and then for like Netflix and Hulu and I don't know, Amazon Prime access, you know, that's like the $15 to $25 a month package, you know, that get you those websites to check out. Yeah, they're totally trying to just cable TV the internet, you know, right from under us in the next couple weeks. So I'm going to drop that link right now in the chat. It's called Battle for the Net. And, you know, I have faith in the internet that we could do something, possibly pull something out from under our sleeves to stop it. Because they seem pretty convinced that they're gonna end it, or the sitting FCC right now. So we got to contact our Congress people like ASAP.
Yeah, and from their end of things, like they're doing it because it's like within our best interests, so that it like helps like
of course
filter out like sites that aren't important. But again, like within that could be like filtering out like conscious sites as well. So yeah, man, like value, like just like really cherish these moments and stuff like that. Like it's been really interesting to be able to like witness this evolution of the internet, because I think again, you know, even just like 5 years ago, like I don't think we realized how sweet we had it. And then as technology kind of continues to be present, it's only a matter of time until people start, you know, changing it and coercing it and controlling it, or using it as a way to control and stuff. So yeah, but again, you know, like that's where we keep adapting. But yeah, like that's where again, you know, within like this project, despite the fact of like how the internet changes, you know, it might take you like a really long time to be able to get 30 people onto your website as like new viewers, unless you're spending like a lot of money on promotion. But you could do it probably quicker by like going out and doing free hugs and giving out 30 shift buttons. Like that's actually like probably like gonna be more effective. Like just the old fashioned way of that. So
it could, you know,
it's like,
not to say it's not fun or anything, but you know, the internet's so convenient and so powerful, you know. So to lose, you know, that tool or be heavily restricted or you know, be regulated by, you know, a for-profit company that's not, it has the leash off, you know, from its regulations, is terrifying, really. I mean, it's open a Pandora's box, you know, on I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Nothing that I feel like I really want to see. So,
well, I mean, again, and I'll just kind of like say this, and then we can keep passing the talking stick around just time wise and stuff. But you know, like it's really interesting, again, just kind of being able to observe this from that top down spiritual perspective, because I feel again, like from the way I'm seeing it, it's like looking at things almost relative to 2012. There was kind of like that spark, and people were waking up and everything, and people are continuing to wake up without a doubt. Like every single day, more and more people are waking up. But at the same time, as we continue to move forward with where we are now within the timelines, every day more and more people are falling deeper asleep, is kind of like the other side of this story. So I mean, like that's why it's like important, more important than it was, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, yesterday, for us to keep coming together as conscious community. Because even I feel like for us within our own spiritual journeys, we will notice that at times where, you know, it might be some super potent experience and you know, like some super psychedelic experience, not in terms of like literally using psychedelics, but again, it could be like a crazy meditation, or like, you know, you fall in love, or you have like a beautiful just like lucid dream or something like that, and or a crazy synchronicity, and kind of spirituality is very present and meaningful in your life. And then you're there and you're like awake and you're present and you're like present in your remembrance of your nature as a multidimensional being. And then naturally over time, you can notice that you'll actually begin to like distance yourself from that, or like your connection to that will kind of become like foggy kind of in a sense. And we'll literally almost like forget, we'll literally kind of like fall deeper into the illusion of the Maya, the, you know, kind of like the mainstream culture that kind of pulls us in and stuff. It's not going to say it's going to happen to everyone all the time, but it's definitely there as a possibility. And again, like that's why we need to remind ourselves through community and through shared story and through these conversations. But it's okay to acknowledge that, you know, even though you might be like spiritually woke AF right now, hashtag woke AF right now, doesn't mean you can't still fall back asleep. And like, that's like a realistic thing that we kind of have to like keep in check with ourselves on, because I think it's easy for habits to shift, and it's easy for us to become like complacent and lazy and apathetic in a way that we almost don't even notice it. And it just becomes like this gradual thing. And then suddenly you're just like, whoa, like I haven't done yoga in like a year, or like I haven't meditated in months, or like I'm not writing down my dreams anymore, or like I haven't had a conscious conversation in forever. And it can happen like so gradually. But yeah, and then the good news is that obviously we can wake back up again. So it's kind of like this yuga cycle. So it's just interesting to notice within the experience of our own lifetime, all of us will go through processes of like awakening and falling asleep, and awakening and falling asleep, and awakening and falling asleep in varying degrees. And again, sometimes when we like start to notice ourselves distancing from our spirituality and quote unquote falling asleep, that can be there as part of our life lesson, as part of our path to be able to like have the inspiration and find the inspiration and turn the self-love back in on itself, to be able to like remember like why you wanted to do this in the first place. So I mean, is it realistic to think that like everyone's going to be quote unquote like woke AF all the time? Is it possible? I guess in some ways it does require like presence, and it requires, you know, I feel community and connection to a bigger narrative. But yeah, just acknowledging that with today's day and age, like have no doubt about it, like there is a war going on, and that war is literally for our consciousness. And we like have to be vigilant in order to keep ourselves like ahead of like within this fight. And so, I mean, again, like that's just, you know, using that words as just kind of metaphors and stuff. But from a spiritual side, some people will say like, oh yeah, no, like this is totally real. Like this is totally real, you know? And it's not just on the surface of what we recognize as like society and everything like that, but it's also like a lot of like energetic stuff that is happening kind of not just like visually present within this dimension, but is still felt. And again, like I think that's where you can kind of see that. You can kind of see this kind of, you know, lower vibration, vampiric type stuff, whatever, feeding off of people. And again, you know, this is a conversation kind of to get into like further another time. But yeah, I just kind of like wanted to bring that up, is that we're noticing that, yeah, people are falling asleep. And that's where I feel as shifters, it's really important for us to be able to go out of our way to help reach out to those people who maybe are like losing hope. And essentially like that is the role of a shifter. A shifter in ourselves represents hope. And I think that's a very powerful idea, because like each one of us is a fractal of the team. So like each one of us, like when we go out there and we're doing free hugs and we're talking to people, we're literally like carrying the entire team with us into that moment. And then for that other person, they can be like, wait, what? Like there's a whole team of you guys, like there's like something really cool online that I can be involved with. And again, that hope is so powerful. And that's like, you know, that's the water for the thirsty world that we are in right now. So just again, bringing it back to the practical side of like why it's important for us to be able to reach out for people in our community, because there's probably people in your physical community right now who are like slowly falling back asleep, but you can be there to like synchronistically run into them and to like help re-spark that spark within them. So yeah, shout out to all the shifters out there. And yeah, you know, like let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. And it's definitely like it happens, and it is happening. So sweet. Okay. Nick, do you want? I can pass it back to you. Yeah, let me just pull your mic up real quick, and then we'll pass it around and we'll pass it to Tom, and then we'll open it up some more. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, just the thing that you said about waves. I recently watched a documentary about the Mayan calendar, or it was discussed on there, and it documented a cycle of just like tens of thousands of year long cycle that can like constantly over time like will raise consciousness according to this thing, like raises up into like golden ages, and then it like slopes down into like silver ages, bronze age, I don't know, these like lower ages. And it's apparently done this for a long time. I'm not sure if I believe it fully myself, but it it did resonate to a degree. But what I thought was kind of, to be truly honest, a bit disheartening, like where we're at in this cycle that this documentary was about was like the lowest possible point, like all the way like at the bottom. But at 2012, it stopped dropping and it started to rise, but we're still like at like very close to the absolute bottom of like our consciousness. And this chart was showing that it would rise over, you know, many thousands more years. Like, you know, the group consciousness will kind of ascend into like another golden age. And, you know, I personally would like to think it would happen like in my lifetime where, you know, we'll just like snap out of it. But yeah, you know, I'm still waiting, you know, I still see miraculous things. I don't know about the whole rest of the world, but like, at least for me, the reason why I made the numbers report shows because I literally do see like significant repeating numbers sightings like every fucking day. And there's just things in this reality, like there was like 3 instances today, like on the internet. It had to do with like basically the internet. Like I would look at somebody's profile on the internet and they would like message me right away. And something like that basically happened like 3 times today to me. And it's just kind of become more like a part of life, something that I just kind of like, I'm not too surprised about, to be honest. I'm just like, all right, very good. Things seem to be working well. I just want like more of that for everyone, you know? And I guess I dream that it will happen for everybody in my lifetime. So I don't know. Fuck that chart, to be honest. Hopefully we're going straight beeline up into that golden age. That's what I'm hoping and praying.
Was it was the chart you were looking at, like, was it like a version of like the Yuga cycles or kind of a different thing?
Yeah, it was very similar to that because it did mention like the Vedic. I believe that's a part of like the Vedic cycle or Vedic philosophy is the what you're talking about. So yeah, it also reflected something similar, you know, and you know, the raising and lowering of consciousness. And it's like, well, that sucks to think that the next few thousand years is going to be like this slow, like ascension, you know, and you know, I think it's all also like all like relative and stuff too. Like it's all like very like fractal. So I mean, like even if we are like really close to the bottom, I don't think that, you know, in some ways, like individually, we're still not capable of reaching the top, so to speak. You know, like there's a big distance between, you know, like bottom and just a little bit above bottom and stuff. So I mean, like just because we have further to go doesn't mean that where we've come from isn't a substantial amount, and we still don't have a substantial amount to continue to go into, sort of thing. But yeah, no, I definitely feel like it's kind of, or go ahead, Nick, and then go ahead. No, I just You know,
Yeah.
I get however it may be will be. You know, my thought is like smash that fucking cycle. We're going straight to the golden age, and it's like no more of this like nonsensical suffering. And I over the past like 5 years, I feel like tremendous shifts have happened, you know, in our community, you know, that has emerged out of nothing. You know, I wasn't on this like consciousness, spiritual kind of vibration like 6 years ago, just kind of like hit me all of a sudden. And it was a dramatic hit around 2012. And just, you know, it kind of lagged a little bit. It was like a big boom in 2012 for me personally. Like a bunch of like profound things. All of a sudden you're like, oh shit, reality is,
I remember,
immense. You know, and then yeah, a lot of that. Like I'm remembering all this shit, and
yeah,
and all the way to this point now, and you know, it's progressively getting more powerful, especially recently. And I just hope, you know, just boom, you know, just waiting for that day where just the reality just kind of like lags away, and just all of a sudden just we can control everything lucidly, you know. It's like, oh, finally. Take care of business now.
Or I guess like part of the
Now
idea is that, you know, like we find access to that like while still being present in this one through like our dream practices and everything. Because again, you know, like I think the idea of like, you know, like what is our objective? Like, is our objective to just kind of like escape this Maya, or is our objective to continue to like exist within it with like as much fruitfulness, as much joy, and in some ways like, and you know, appropriate degrees of suffering? Because again, you know, like I don't think we as consciousness came here to completely avoid suffering, but to be able to like understand like how it in itself like actually like transforms us and everything as well. So I mean, I think it's important for everyone to kind of like reflect on what they feel is like, you know, what the shift in consciousness is really all about. From my simple perspective, like it is about self-awareness, which in turn also allows people to tap into self-joy. It allows them to tap into like gratitude and self-love, which they can continue to spread further through, you know, acts of compassion in that sense. Because, you know, from my part of my personal objectives, like within this whole paradigm shift stuff, is that I firmly believe that every person deserves the right to feel happy and deserves like the right to feel, you know, joyful in this moment. And sometimes like the root of that will come through, you know, spiritual exploration, the idea of like, you know, looking further down the rabbit hole, realizing that literally there is like so much more to discover beyond the veil, and the physical community interactions that come out of that. And, you know, again, just quickly reading and referencing the live chat here, Annie in the live chat on YouTube is just saying interactions with people help spark those moments more than the internet for sure. So again, you know, like I think it's, again, just going back to the idea of it's so easy to get sucked into this illusion and to suck into this Maya. But another thing that's crazy to think about is that we like literally, and again, just within like the past like 7 or 8 years, people have been like, basically, okay, the majority of humans have had their dreams taken from them, is basically kind of like a dramatic way that I could put it. But in a very sensical way, what I'm referring to is the fact that the majority of the population, like literally right now, if you were just like walking to the mall and survey like 100 people, like 99% of those people are going to be like, I don't remember my dreams. Like, I just don't. Or they might like have an odd remembrance, but they don't have a connection to it. And again, a big part of that is literally because we've been so programmed to, first of all, think that dreams aren't important, but then also because of like our smartphones. And again, this is something we talk about in dream class. Like, and again, I'm saying this because I've noticed it affect myself, where you wake up like first thing in the morning and first thing you do is like check your phone. And as soon as you check your phone, it like zaps your dreams. So it's crazy, right?
Oh
because
my God,
like I feel,
know.
Again, as we're kind of like falling deeper, what I'm referring to when I say like people are falling deeper asleep, people are becoming like further away from that remembrance of the fact that they are a multidimensional being. Like if you were to go up to someone and just be like, hey, you're a multidimensional being, they would just be like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about, but I know that this physical reality exists and it's what I'm familiar with. And so like, again, within the Paradigm Shift Project, within those multiple levels, yeah, part of it is literally helping people remember for themselves that they are multidimensional beings and then allowing them to explore what that means to them, and not just through ideas and concepts, but also through direct experience, such as, you know, dream exploration. And that's why within this project that I feel that if everything that we were doing in Paradigm Shift, like if we were just, you know, doing all of that, but then if we didn't bring in the intention of like paying attention to our dreams, I feel like we would be cutting ourselves tremendously short, or I feel like it would be very hypocritical of us. And again, like that's why, like I feel if not next week, very soon after, I want to be able to have like another dream class, because I feel that as shifters, like that's just so important. Dreams are so important. Like not only do they give us like foresight into into the future, they give us foresight about ourselves, they help us step more into our potential, and it literally helps us expand our experience of what it means to be in this reality. So many people are living here in this reality only present in the physical, when we fully have the capacity to be present in the physical as well as present within our dream space as a multidimensional being. And again, like people have had that taken from them, like literally taken from them without them even knowing, in a sense. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like if anybody's seen the movie The Giver or the book The Giver, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, go watch that movie again, because it's like totally right up the same alley as kind of what I'm talking about and stuff. And it's basically like this futuristic city where they've like taken out all sorts of conflict by taking away emotions, and they've taken away people's dreams by giving them medication. But then as soon as they stop taking the medication, they start like having dreams again. And then they actually, and they can actually start seeing colors. Like people actually couldn't start seeing colors and stuff too. So yeah, but I definitely feel that, you know, in retrospect, looking back, it does seem that, you know, 2012 is very relevant. Like the whole concept of 2012, again, like literally just kind of, even just looking at it 2012 then to where we are now, again, there's a lot of great things happening, but then there's like a lot of like really kind of like other stuff happening that's sucking people deeper into this sleep. But 2012 was like kind of like this stage where that stuff like wasn't as thick, so people were like more like, oh, like here's that initial burst. And now our objective is to keep the momentum of 2012 going. And I think admittedly that is the challenge, is and I feel that's where a lot of people are like giving up, is that, you know, they might have had that inspiration in 2012 and they're like, yeah, let's do this, let's create the world, let's change the world, let's create conscious community. And then slowly but surely they start losing their motivation because Facebook starts draining it from them, because like people start becoming disengaged and stuff. And then, you know, by the time even at this point now, they're just like, I don't care anymore because it feels like nobody else cares. And it just like sucks their soul out of them. But again, that's where like we as a team have to acknowledge that that's part of the challenge, that's part of like, you know, carrying this boulder up a hill type thing, but we're all carrying it together. We can all work together. But that's where, again, the whole purpose of Paradigm Shift Central in multiple ways is about like giving us the core community to help keep us inspired, to keep moving that momentum forward. Because I feel when we are alone, it's so easy to lose hope. It's so easy to give up, like in the world we live in. It's so easy to say like, why does it matter? Why should we? And stuff like that. But again, you know, like it totally does matter. So, and with that said, in celebration of this moment, it looks like we've got some new baby kittens who have joined the Hangout. Yay, baby kittens! And I'm gonna pull up your microphone. Do you wanna just like say a little bit about the fact that we got baby kittens in the Hangout now? So.
Yes, we have one, and she's just ran off. She likes to go away, and she'll have them, and she'll bring them to me. So she's just having a second one now, but yeah.
Look how precious the little kitten is.
Very, very tiny.
So crazy. That kitten's like literally just like in the physical reality now. It's just like, oh.
Yeah. And I'm the only female in this house. I'm the only female in this house, so she comes to me and says, hey, look what I've done, you know. So Yeah, no one else is allowed to touch the kittens, so it's kind of cute.
That's so cute. Wow, I can't believe that actually happened. That's like some next level crazy stuff. And it's like right in sync with the I mean, again, I didn't mention this prior to the broadcast, but it's basically the full moon right now, by the way, everyone. So
I was
happy
just
full
about
moon.
to say, yeah. I was just about to say that isn't there like a super moon coming?
Is it a super moon? Again, I've been like so
I've seen
caught up in
on
stuff.
Facebook.
That
Yeah,
sounds
sorry, I've seen
possible.
stuff on Facebook referring to that. So
Every moon is super in my books, but yes.
that's the way.
But yeah, like technically according to the moon clock right now, we are literally at like 98%, if not 99% right now. So again, you know, just taking that reminder to kind of connect with the moon and connect with the inspiration of like the cosmic energy being like shine through the moon and into our hearts, and let us continue to like drink up the energy of the moon and turn that into inspiration to move forward. So, and again, you know, that inspiration shows up in many ways. That inspiration shows up in just like being able to, again, like work on ourselves, being able to create our art, being able to like become healthier, being able to change our diet, being able to help introduce like new habits, being able to have the courage to create a physical paradigm shift community, to do free hugs, to go out there and connect with people. And yeah, just having the courage to be compassionate is just a little intention that I'll put out there. But again, guys, just huge shout out to everyone involved with like this broadcast and this project. Like again, within the last couple of weeks, I was working like a lot on the Patreon, but the Patreon is about creating the foundation so that we have more space and freedom to be able to play. And so I'll just plug the Patreon right now, that again, if people are like, hey, I like the cut of Brendon's jib and I like what Paradigm Shift Central is about and want to be involved with it, and absolutely get involved for free. Another great way to support is through the team Patreon. And again, that's where you get your Shifter Booster Kit with like all sorts of shift buttons and laminated free hug signs and the Light Guardian crystals to be able to help hack the matrix where you are. And that's a pay what you wish, asking monthly micro donation of $3 to $5, with the idea being that of a micro amount that of that small is almost like barely noticeable in most cases. So that's kind of the idea, is that like when we all give a little, we all get a lot collectively. So thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this project. Thank you to the people on the team Patreon. And yeah, again, just like continuing to build this project bit by bit. And there's so much more still to do. And again, like some of that being the creation of the Journey to Lucidity movies is one thing that I want to be able to share with you guys. And also, I'll just mention this here, the Paradigm Shift Love Tour is another thing that I just want to like bring back into the concept of the discussion at some point. And that basically is an idea that we've had since like 2015. And it's the idea of like me traveling and going to different locations and visiting you guys, you girls and aliens, in different parts of the world, and like doing free hugs and documenting things and like having Paradigm Shift on the go and helping create Paradigm Shift communities where we are. So that's something that I still feel really called to do. But again, before that can happen, the Patreon is like what is going to allow that to happen. So just a huge shout out to everyone on the Patreon for their ongoing support. And you can add your support to support the project, to help it reach more people, to help us ripple the waves further, to inspire others to continue to wake up within the dream. And that's at patreon.com/Brendon Culliton, and the links are in the info for this as well. And yeah, I'd love to just like answer any questions if anybody has any of that as we get going, and again off air as well. So yeah, let's just kind of like check back in, because I know it's 12:30 right now, and we still have a tarot card draw that I want to do, and I still just kind of want to like open up into just like other conversation. And yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out and everything. So I want to pass it over to Tom as well, and Tom will yeah, absolutely, Tom, we're going to pass it over to you, and Tom's going to share a little bit of updates on just like what the shift looks like from their end, and then yeah, and then we'll just keep bouncing around. This is all just good old-fashioned family fun time in terms of spiritual family and community. So remember, if you're connected with this project, keep in mind that nothing happens by accident. And on a soul level, if you're feeling like connected to this project, that means that like us as a team have kind of like agreed to come into this incarnation to be able to work together in that sense, in whatever capacity. So yeah, thank you for finding each other again, all of us. So it's been so long. What a journey, right? Okay. Let's check in with Tom. Tom, I'm going to pull your microphone up, and we'll pass the talking stick over to you. So, Tom, welcome back to the Team Building Circle. And when you're ready, go ahead. You can just say again who you are, where you're from, and a little bit of what the shift looks like from your perspective, and anything else you want to bring to the roundtable circle.
All right.
So, go ahead.
Hopefully, you can hear me okay. My name is Tom Osmond. I live in Florida. I've been involved in various shifting, primarily with this group, but with a lot of other people too. And I just wanted to go through some just quick review. I don't want to take too long. I just want to go through this quick review about what we were talking about. We were talking about all the technology stuff. You know, when it comes to technology and all these different things, it really hasn't changed in the last 10 years. I mean, they throw at us a lot of new programs, this and that, use this, use that, but we have everything we need to communicate. We just have to sit down and think about it and make it simple. You know, I talk about Facebook and how it controls you and this and that. Facebook, you can control it yourself just by simply writing what you want and posting it to who you want. I mean, they have the feed and that's crap and all that, but if you want to tell somebody something, post it on their page. Tell them, even if they're not a friend. I mean, you can control it. So don't get too caught up in all the different technology of the musical chairs with it. You know, it's just a lot of distraction because Facebook, these things are just a means to an end. And the end is to be able to communicate mentally, to understand and share the reality. You know, like you were just saying, make dreams your priority. Whatever it takes, like, you have to search out why you're not dreaming well, because dreaming is the gateway to the other dimensions. The state of dreaming is just a slowed down version of astral travel. That's really what we need. I mean, that if you want to pinpoint a goal as to what we're doing here, is focus in on that and figure out what's causing you to not dream well. And one of the main reasons I have found, even if you yourself, you're open-minded, you're ready to go, but you're finding that you have people in your life that I call subconscious anchors. Seek them out. Family, friends, people that are unhealthy, on drugs, have toxicity, mental toxicity. I'm finding, and I'm beating a dead horse, and I will keep beating this. I'm finding that so many, especially older people, our fathers, our mothers, and cousins and stuff have metal in their mouth, in their amalgams, and they're constantly seeping toxic metals, and that affects you so hugely, and it takes so long to repair. I'll keep beating that dead horse until it gets to people realize it. And you know, we were talking about 2012 and 2013 and how we're waiting for things to shift. We are the shift. Like 2012, 2013 was a point when enough people did things subconsciously to start the shift. The shift is us. It's not like the world is shifting and we're following it. It's like we're shifting and the world mimics us. And we set the precedence. So we have to, and the main thing on that is to focus on the lucid dreaming, the out of body, and accepting that is our goal. I mean, without that, we're just flopping around with the same technology over and over, talking back and forth. For the last 2 weeks, I've literally slept like 12 hours a day in an attempt to do extensive dreaming. And I'm remembering 60, 70% of my dreams. I'm even meeting people in the dreams and then waking up feeling feeling a symptom of helping them withdraw from their limitations. Like, for instance, I had a dream with somebody who's very, very efficient and powerful, and I woke up, and for about an hour after waking up, I felt like gravity was twice as hard. Literally, my body felt like I was being pulled to the floor. And through interpretations, I understand what this means and what it did to help. But that is what we really need to focus on. And, you know, let's not get hung up on the technology. You know, our computers, like I'm running Windows 7 on my computer. It'll run anything that's out there now. You know, OS, whatever Mac OS you're using, they're the same program, just regurgitated over and over. And so let's not get caught up in the misdirection of technology. So, and that's really all I wanted to say. I don't want to take too long. I just want to get straight to the point. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Tom. Thank you as well. And Tom, I don't know if you would want to share any sorry, any like almost like you know, documentation of stuff that you've like experienced within your dream stuff. I mean, I know you got into it there, but if there's like any other stuff that you want to
Well,
get to,
I didn't.
I mean, I know dreams are very personal and everything, but if like just
Let me think if there's an instance in
yeah.
my. I'll give you a very. I had a strange instance in a
Sure.
dream. It was-
Yeah, and with the idea being just kind of like sharing it as like to help give people ideas of what can be possible within dreams to begin with. So again,
Okay.
this is almost like a little mini conversation that we would almost have within a dream class episode broadcast.
Yeah,
So
I'll give a good one I had a few nights ago where I was in a world, and it's a collection of memories of different people and places. And in this world, a couple of things that were unique to me is that I had the power, and I was showing two other people the power of telekinesis. We were lifting giant trucks and smashing them and moving great things with our mind. And I remember waking up from that and going, man, when will we be able, I wish we could do this in this reality. It wasn't to destroy things. It was to show that the world we live in, it's all connected. And in this same dream, I resorted back to my past life of being an Atlantean king, and I was firing some of the other Nicals. Like I was yelling at them for being pathetic in this life. And I was two particular ones. I was like, "You're both fired. You're both pathetic." And it was just humorous at the time. And the rest of the dream was just a collection of rooms and past memories. There was even some strange sexual things in there that were weird. But it's that kind of thing where you get a little taste of what you can do. In the past, I've had dreams where I'm flying and repairing things and destroying things. But other than that, the other dreams they're too cryptic to describe. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you for sharing, Tom. Appreciate
Sure.
it. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, for those of us who are interested in dreams, I do want to be able to just like even take a moment here to talk a little bit about dreams. And for those who aren't familiar within Paradigm Shift, like some of what we do here within our regular broadcast is the Paradigm Shift Dream class. So like I said, stay tuned because I still have to meditate on like what our future schedule is going to be for broadcast, but we may do a dream class next week, and if not next week, then very soon afterwards. Side note here, just allow me to sidestep. I'm also thinking about the idea of doing a Paradigm Shift Destiny School episode, specifically about Star Wars. And even though we've done broadcasts in the past specifically about Star Wars, to actually like go back to that, relative to the idea that it would be after The Last Jedi comes out, because again, like there's a lot to talk about in terms of conscious movies and everything, but I definitely feel, as we've noticed in the past Star Wars movies that came out, is that those movies in themselves, as I talk about, are very synchromistic. They are literally consciousness doing what it can to help wake itself up through the power of narrative and symbolism and stories. And so again, like what we're seeing within the Star Wars is basically like a dream that is unfolding collectively within us. And part of that dream is, again, being able to like realize that part of our objective within the shifting consciousness as light guardians is something that I talk about, isn't necessarily just about like trying to hold on to one side of the light, but again, I see the light as like the circle around the yin yang, and the light is the gray. And again, I'm just segueing into the gray, but again, like our objective isn't to just like hold the light or to just like hold the darkness, but to be able to like find what allows the balance of the both to be able to exist and be able to like see ourselves within both, but to see it from like a positive perspective that allows us to be able to grow, and to be able to grow through our own like suffering and vulnerability, and just like in turn allow ourselves to become like more courageous and optimistic and more capable, because we are more aware of like who we are as a more complete being. So the Gray Jedi coming out within the next Star Wars movie, just stay tuned for that. And again, stay tuned for Paradigm Shift Destiny School about Star Wars stuff. So yeah, and if you're excited about that, please feel free to leave comments and give me feedback to let me know if like doing a Destiny School episode about Star Wars is something that you would be excited about. And again, the Destiny School, that's just like another broadcast within the broadcast that we do where we rotate through specific subjects. Going back to dreams, guys, let's practice talking a little bit about dreams. I just want to be able to check in with you and anyone here. How is everyone feeling with their dreams right now? Because like, honestly, I can say like part of my interest in wanting to do a dream class and get back into dreams is because I have readily been able to observe that I've been like very distant from my dreams for the past couple weeks. And noticeably, again, sometimes that will happen where sometimes we focused on the physical, and sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to be like keeping our focus within the physical dimension. But in doing so, it kind of like, yeah, you evidently, you like, for me, I like miss my dreams. So I'm like, okay, I want to get back into my dreams. And definitely for my own self, some of the basic habits behind that are just like being able to be aware of diet, being able to aware of like meditation, eating, again, like sleeping habits, working with like recreational cannabis and how that like affects the dream recall. And again, just being aware of like just taking care of myself and just yeah, putting the intention towards that and putting more attention towards like doing my dream journal writing and stuff like that, and having my phone like not near me when I wake up and stuff. But yeah, I've definitely noticed over the past couple of weeks that I've been very distant from my connection with my dreams. And my dreams are very important to me because I know that like when I'm putting the attention to my dreams, literally within like a few days, very, very interesting things can happen. And I'll just say this and I'll pass the talk and stick around for anybody who wants to jump in. But sometimes I find is that through my own dreams, considering like who I am as as a person who's, you know, like has a voice within a community so other people can hear it, sometimes I feel that messages and experiences will come through my own dreams that will allow me to like share a lesson or a story or a perspective that will actually be of benefit to the community, to others within the community as well. So it's like sometimes our dreams aren't just our own. Sometimes our dreams are like, you know, we are almost messengers for those higher dimensional dreams. So again, that's where, you know, someone like Tom and anybody else who already is tuned in with their dreams, that's incredibly valuable. And in today's day and age, it's incredibly rare. Like if you have a friend who is like already consistently in tune with their dreams, like go out of your way to like, you know, just like keep in touch with them or just like talk to them about dreams, because sometimes, again, in this day and age, like that seems like such a rare thing. Yeah. So dreams are so important. And again, I do feel that there's a lot within this bigger narrative that is happening and coming through our dream space. So when we give that the attention, it's going to like help us not only accelerate things here in the physical, but just expand our presence as cosmic citizens. So, opening up onto the topic of dreams, who wants to talk a little bit about dreams? And again, we're just practicing talking about dreams right now. Vincent, I'm going to pass it over to you. So let me just get your mic. And Vincent, when you're ready, go ahead. You're
okay.
Good.
Do dreams. There is some psychological and some spiritual aspects of dreams. It comes down to how your dream is coming out to you. What are you remembering in your dream? Are your dreams in black and white? Are they in amber, shades of blue, and dream in full different colors? Hear sound. Sometimes you'll hear a familiar sound or an unfamiliar sound. I have these books, these reference books. Zolar's Encyclopedia and Dictionary of Dreams. Now he's a borderline person because research on some of the dark arts, and a lot of shifters are kind of like some of the dark arts, negative energy, part of the occult. So I wanted to just point that out. I do interpretations of dreams. Some dreams have deeper meanings than others. For example, if you might dream of the dogs. If you had a dream about a dog, it might mean that it has dogs. Animals sometimes have to do with friendships. On the type of dog you're dreaming about, if you're dreaming about a group of dogs, those type of things affect or they have some type of aspect of your life or somebody else's life, especially if you're somebody else. So I'm gonna put out there the interpretation. Before I do an interpretation, I always pray, and then I'll listen to the dream. I'll take down the notes. I'll look it up, and then I'll pray before giving the interpretation. If you guys are having dreams that are affect your life, or you might sometimes you'll get a dream that will wake you up, and it will get you up, and you'll be like, oh, this is really important, or it was shocking to me. Those type of dreams are things that you might want to interpret for. That's all I had on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. Sweet. Does anybody else want to jump in, just like relate to the topic of dreams and everything? And again, you know, like the topic of dreams is a great topic to be able to start like sharing with people if you want to start getting them looking further down the rabbit hole. And so like even back in the days when we were starting Paradigm Shift, like as a club in my college, we would have like presenters in to talk about dreams. And again, I just feel that the topic of dreams is always going to be a great jump point for people to start getting curious about, because everyone does dream and everyone has the potential to dream, and dreams provide visceral direct experience. Like, it's interesting to think that a lot of people don't even know that things like lucid dreaming and astral projection are even possible, you know? And I feel like, again, that's kind of like the coercion of the mainstream culture, where things like that are like fringe and they're just considered like either taboo, or they're just not talking about, or they're just considered crazy, or they're considered science fiction. But they're actually real. And again, it's one of those things where you don't just have to believe someone, but you can actually experience it for yourself. But it does take practice, but there is like a legit science behind being able to develop your relationship with your dreams. And some people are going to naturally kind of come into this reality with like a different attunement to their dreams. But for the majority of us, again, it's still going to be and dedication and willpower as well. And again, that's where like community helps, because it's so easy to just kind of like let go of the will to be able to do that. But that's where setting a broadcast ahead of time, when I like let you guys know, hey, we're doing a dream class broadcast on this date, use that as an anchor for you to pay attention to your dreams leading up to that broadcast, if it's something that you care about. So, I mean, even for myself, if there's like a dream class coming up that we got scheduled, then I'm going to put the intention to, say, for example, like not smoke cannabis, because again, as soon as I smoke like cannabis, even though it's like just like once a day, even if that, it's going to affect my dreams. So like if I want to be able to pay attention to my dreams, and it'll just mean it'll mean me making that choice. But in doing that, like the universe kind of recognizes it, and stuff will always kind of like come through in very interesting ways. But yeah, again, dreams. Who else wants to practice talking about dreams? Like, why are dreams important within this day and age, so to speak? And I want to give a shout out to to Hector as well. I know Hector jumped in, and Hector, even though you jumped in, if you know, I'm sure this is a topic that, again, this is practice. We're practicing talking about dreams here. So, cool. Hector, if you'd like, I'm just going to pull up your microphone to just say hello. And this is Hector from Paradigm Shift Reno. And maybe, Hector, if you want to just talk a little bit about, you know, why dreams are important within this shift in consciousness. Why should we be paying attention to them? So, Hector, I'm just pulling your microphone up now. So go ahead and say hello, brother.
Hello, guys. Good to see you once again and be a part of this awesome community here with you guys. Sorry I came in late. I got stuck in a board meeting for Earth Day, and it just got out of control. But I made it here just for a little bit at least. So dreams. Dreams are, I think, a really good way to access parts of our lives. And by lives, I mean our many lives that we've had, I believe we've had. They're a good way to get answers. There's a lot to dreams, there really is. I just had a very powerful, actually, for the past month or so, I've been seeing nothing but hawks around and very close, almost scary close. Um, just a few weeks ago, I had a very powerful dream about a hawk, and I mean, the more I get in tune with that, it's just, um, hawks are messengers, um, here to help you out in your life, and it's just it's just amazing the way that those things go. And
All right, so Hector just dropped out there. No worries. I think it's just an internet connection. So we'll check back in with Hector in a moment. But yeah, okay. So I still just want to practice passing talking around. And I think Anna would like to say something, and I will just say, so let's just practice talking about dreams just for a little bit more, and then we're going to do the tarot card reading. So I got the tarot card deck here. So stay tuned for that because that's always really exciting. So. Anna, thumbs up if you want to say something. I believe so. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So Anna, go ahead.
Yeah. When you were saying before about the astral projection and how people don't even understand that it is possible, I was one of those people. I thought, I've never experienced it. How do I experience it? But you are aware of that particular meditation that I quite enjoy of yours, to the supermoon one, whatever it is. By me sort of doing that and getting really in tune to that, ever since then, I have had a couple of actual astral projection dreams while I'm actually asleep. So, I mean, I guess by sort of getting attached to it in my awake time, it sort of then rippled into my sleep, so I don't know. Yeah, I just thought I'd say that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So Anna was referring to one of the guided story meditations that we did, which was like a group astral projection guided meditation. And you guys can find that on the main website. You just go to live.paradigmshiftcentral.com, scroll down a little bit to the bottom of the main page, and you'll see the guided meditations, and go to the one that's the astral projection guided meditation. But yeah, again, like I think one thing with that can help with dreams is simply by like, kind of like having the inspiration to help fuel our dreams. And I feel like sometimes people, it's interesting to think about how everything that we ingest is affecting us. And that's not just referring to food, but it's also referring to like media content and even like stories. So, I mean, that's why for me, I love watching things like anime, or things like watching even like foreign movies that get really trippy, or just like very awesome visuals and stuff, or just like even like graphic novels and graphic like comic books and stuff like that, like Neil Gaiman and stuff like that, just like the Sandman stuff and everything, just like flipping through those, you get like all these like crazy visuals, which can almost become fuel for your dream space as well. So I think it's important for us to be reminded that it's important for us to take time to literally fuel our brains and our imagination with stuff that's going to inspire us. So, go see an inspiring movie and then think about how that could actually be like something that's going to help like fuel your imagination within dreams. Because yeah, like if you're just like working at a factory all day, then it's quite likely that you'll just dream about working at a factory all day. And again, like we dream about what our fascinations are. And sometimes that can be used as a way to kind of be counterproductive, but at the same time, that can almost be looked at as like a programming code that can be used in our advantage. So if we kind of adjust what our fascinations are, and if our fascinations are getting in tune with ourselves and practicing meditation, but again, like I said, like also bringing in powerful visualizations and imaginative scenery and everything like that, then you can like practice meditating and imagining yourself in these beautiful places and everything. And then next thing you know, your dreams are kind of like bringing you to them and actualizing. Again, I'm just practicing talking here, because again, it's still like so much more to it. But yeah. And Anna, was there anything that you want to say? I think you're just.
Oh yeah, I was just talking.
Anna, was there anything else you want to say? No. Okay.
Yeah. I was just talking to Mouth about about how I think that the actual being able to visualize, astral projection was able to then manifest into a dream, because most people just sort of wait for it, if you know what I mean, and they're like, don't know what to expect. But if you actually, it's like reading a book or watching a movie sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Totally. Sweet. And thank you, Anna. And yeah, so again, let's keep passing it around just for a little bit more. But I'm just reading in the YouTube chat, Celestial Rainbow is just talking about doing art before bed is something that has been helping them with their dreams. So yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I've honestly haven't really practiced that myself, surprisingly. Well, I guess I have, in terms of a variety of different art, but literally just the idea of doing art before falling asleep is definitely something. But again, if people are interested in their dreams, tune in for future dream classes, definitely. But simple practices would be, practicing meditation so that you can relax your mind, practicing writing down your dreams, and practicing reality checks, and pay attention to diet, and as well as even sexual energy. That definitely has an effect on dreams. If you're looking to get into those more experiences of astral projection, a lot of people, and not just a lot of people, ancient texts will talk about the importance of cultivating sexual energy over time. So if you're really looking to be able to have an astral projection experience, it's going to be incredibly more likely if it's something where you haven't spilled your cup in several weeks and such. So again, but we'll get back to these topics a little bit more in the future. But yeah, does anybody else want to just touch upon any comments on related to dreams, practicing talking here, and then we're going to do the tarot card reading. So anybody just raise their hand or anything if you guys want to just talk about dreams and stuff like that. I know it's getting Bryan. Okay, sweet. I'm sorry. Some of us are getting ready to fall asleep right here. All right, Bryan, go ahead. You want to talk about dreams for a second, or why dreams are important, and just check your microphone real quick. Let me just check the mute button for you there. All right.
Right now?
You're talking. You're talking, man. Go for it.
Hey, I love talking, what is a dream? Am I awake right now? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the dreams I was talking on the side here, that you're, they never seem to be lies, they're always true. They don't feel like they don't feel like they're gonna tell you to go off in the wrong direction. Always that. Dreams as a noun is the dream in which when you're asleep, goals in which you want to achieve, which is from the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole word. And I think it's weird how I've never died in a dream. I've come close. I've had the natural DMT trips. When I was suicidal, I remember a dream when I was about to jump off a bridge. It was all real quick. There was no cops or anything watching. I asked some kayakers below me. They were going through, and I said, how warm is the water down there? And I was getting up just to jump. It was all going to be a swift movement, 5 seconds. And it felt like it was my own guardian angel, me, and I understand what was being said in the comments there of it's a communication to your higher self. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, my friends,
so,
I used to have a problem.
Can you try wiggling your mic? Your mic was it's kind of funky right now, and it fixed itself, and then it went funky again.
I drop out of the video, another tab. Hold on a sec.
Do you want to do that real quick? Okay. All right.
I should be coming in clearer now.
Oh, yeah. No, that fixed it. Yeah, good idea. Good call.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I had something too much bandwidth on my internet. Sorry about that. Yeah, with dreams, man, I used to have this reoccurring dream where it was my anxiety. It was the embodiment of my anxiety, and I had to read it in psychology books of dreams. But really what that is, that's just what we're talking about, the other sort of books. And I had this dream where I kept falling, just plummeting to my death. And it was like a reoccurrence of everything I felt, of the fear that prevented me from actually. It wasn't even fear. It was like a voice told me, no, don't do it. Don't jump right now. And it was like a lady's face that stared at me. And she was like in shock that I was going to jump right then and there. And it woke me up, man. Like, I was like, oh, man, I'm really here. And I felt myself after that. Like, I had it's like you have to pinch yourself. I used to have this recurring dream where I felt like I was falling all the time. Then I read about it and the anxiety, and by knowing about the dream, and which is why I think it's important that we talk about it, it turned into jumping, involuntary jumping. I would jump so high, I'd want to take one step forward, and I'd just be jumping 20 feet in the air. Now it's to the point where my anxiety is under control, where it's I'm flying. Wow. I accept the fact that I don't, that I'm not falling and I'm not jumping. I just go, no, man, I'm just gonna fly. I'm gonna take whatever life's gonna give to me. So that's my experience on dreams. But as of lately, I've been smoking too much ganja, so like I haven't been remembering my dreams, and I should probably. Well, here's good news. I didn't drink this whole month, and it's all I can drink right now. I'm gonna have a beer, but after this because it's just a celebration, man. Like I drink a pot of coffee, to go through this, and it's not good to do all these drugs. Yeah, I know. And I gave up weed for about a week, and it caused my Tourette's to pick up again. So it's medicinal for me. But yeah. Anyways, I'm dragging on here, but dreams, man. We should have a whole discussion on dreams. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely stay tuned for more dream class. So thank you for sharing, Bryan. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. And again, like kind of with what Bryan was saying there, dreams are a chance for us to communicate with our higher selves. And again, absolutely. And oh man, like if you guys are interested in dreams already, I would just recommend going back and checking out some of the previous dream classes, which again are just under the main website under Central News. But yeah, I mean, there's so much to say there. And the big kicker that I'll put out there that I kind of like mention within every dream class is that from my understanding, again, like it's this idea that like the dream space that we are in is actually closer to where we are from. That's actually like more closer to source, or that is like a version of source. And then that is actually like what the soul kind of exists as. It exists like within this realm of the imagination of the nation of the Magi. And then the physical reality that we experience is something that almost like in a chronological sense, like came later within this like experience of reality and everything like that. But yeah, again, what I think is really beautiful though is that when we do realize that this reality is another version of the dream, is that we also realize that this reality is a place where dreams come true. And I think like just that idea in itself is so powerful. Like the idea of literally thinking about like this reality, this lifetime, your lifetime, you living right now, and you living from like a week to now and a month from now is literally an opportunity for you to make your dreams come true. And like see that in whatever scope you want. I mean, that can be as simple as like, I'm going to make my dream come true of like baking a cake this Friday or something like that, and then someone like they bake a cake and it's right there in front of them and they eat it and that experience is real. But again, like your dream could be to travel or to like have like heartfelt connections or to find your twin flame or something like that. And like these dreams, again, they begin like within here and everything. And again, you can get into the non-linear idea of like what came first, the fact that dream already existed in the future. And then I was like remembering it in the present. And then it like created this self-fulfilling prophecy type thing. I mean, I think that's just one way to think about it. But yeah, it's just really powerful to think about, again, the idea that this reality is another version of the dream. But the core idea behind that is that if that's the case, knowing that that's the case, it also means that our thoughts create within this dream. So in the same way within a lucid dream, if what you think so shall you become is very much a present moment experience, then that is also happening within this reality, but through the frequency and the illusion of time, things just like take a little bit different. They go at a different pace, but it's still very much the same formula. It's the same format. So again, by studying our dreams, by understanding how to create within dreams and how to read the language within dreams, how to read the symbolism within dreams, how to be able to do that, it allows us to like acknowledge the subtle language of the universe as well through the language of symbols and synchronicities as well. So getting in tune with our dreams allows us to get in tune with ourself, which allows us to get in tune with the universe, which levels up our abilities within the game in terms of our intuition and our foresight, and also like our creativity as well. So go dreams. Yay. Sweet. Okay. I want to move over to do the tarot card reading, and it's past 1 a.m. So let's see if we can finish this up by 1:30, give or take. Again, so it happens with every broadcast. You're like, all right, 2-hour broadcast, which means it'll be a 3.5-hour broadcast, but it's all good. Okay. Does anybody else have anything else that they just want to mention on dreams briefly, and then we'll go into the tarot card reading? If so, just raise your hand, and if not, that's okay. So last chance, that's fine with me. Okay, cool. All right, so let me just double check the live chat. Thank you again for people commenting in the live chat. I'm just reading. Unconditional 1111 love says in the live chat on YouTube, I personally believe everyone does, just not always consciously. I'm not sure though, just a theory, but yes, I have. This is definitely inspiring me to be more dedicated to my dreams / astral practice. I think that was in reference to specifically astral projection. It was just a comment that I put in the live chat on YouTube of who here has experienced astral projection. So yeah, that's a great idea though. Like, does everyone experience astral projection? Like, or can some people go an entire lifetime without experiencing astral projection? It does seem to be like one of those things where like when you viscerally experience something like astral projection, which again, it's basically just like being consciously aware that you're existing outside of your physical body, that can be a very paradigm shifting moment, and it can totally like make people question reality. So sometimes within a soul's journey, you know, it would make sense for them to not have an astral projection if they're like deep within the dream, so to speak, and they're okay with that. Sweet. Okay, I'm just gonna acknowledge that there's more kittens on camera who have just like woken up from their own dream. So are the kittens making any kitten noises yet, Anna? Are they like, oh, I just heard one. Oh, I made a noise. Okay, everyone quiet. Let's kitten noise.
This one was just born, and she's gone and had another one straight away. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They're making little noises.
It's opposing colors too. I got a black one, we got a white one. So.
That is meow. Welcome, little kitten soul. Oh my goodness. Oh. In addition to the,
this one's gonna be noisy.
Man, like. Yeah, if you're listening carefully, not only can you hear the kitten, but you can also hear the sound of 1,000 hearts melting.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. All right. Thank you for sharing, Anna, and thank you to your cat. What's your cat's name?
Well, we call her Mama now, but she used to be called Snowflake, but she's been dubbed Mama.
Mama Snowflake. Awesome. Sweet.
Yep.
Little kittens. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Dreams are awesome. Dreams are important. Everyone pay attention to your dreams. If you're serious about the shift in consciousness, then it's worthwhile to consider being serious about your dreams as well. And again, you know, it's something that takes time, it takes practice, but it's also very exciting, and it yields amazing direct experiences. You know, like if you're a person where you're just like, I have nothing left to watch on Netflix, and you're just like, I need something. Just a reminder that there is an infinite amount of like awesome movies that are accessible to you within the dream space. So rather than being like, I'm bored because there's nothing on Netflix, you can be like, I'm excited to go to sleep because I'm going to dream like an awesome epic adventure that's like more exciting and better than any video game out right now. That's what's possible. That's totally what's possible. So that's what we're working towards, again, you know, and the idea that even within the broadcasts of the dream class, how we do the shared dream location through the dream tree, that's something that we'll stay tuned where, you know, we'll focus back into more as well. And that's something that's really powerful, the idea of helping direct people towards being able to meet up at a common location within the dream space, and realizing that our dream space is basically its own version of the internet. It's like the inner net. So tapping into that, thinking about dreams, thinking about our whole body as like advanced form of spiritual technology, and we're still like figuring out how to use it. So yeah, if you want to be like the holiest person in this day and age, one of the most powerful things you can do is by like reclaiming your connection to your dreams, and again, just kind of like expressing your authentic self in doing so. So okay, let's move into the tarot card reading, and we're gonna get close to wrapping up this broadcast in the next little bit. So again, with the tarot card reading, basically it's a chance for the universe to be able to communicate to tarot card reading in general is a chance for the universe to be able to communicate to us through the power of synchronicity and the power of symbols. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to draw a tarot card from the Ananda Tarot deck, and I'll just show you the image there for that, and then I'll read it to you from the book. And yeah, I would just invite you guys to be able to put any intention into this moment of just showing us what we need to see. So we're going to draw a card here, and the card is going to be collectively for the team, collectively for us as humans on this journey, so to speak. And yeah, every time we do this, it's always very interesting. There's always like some relevance there. So again, this is kind of like magic live on air in the spot. So, and again, this is something that all of us can utilize, tarot cards and synchronicity, and yeah, it's like working with the higher self, and it's really cool, and it's really awesome, and it like sends like tingles up my spine. So okay, so let's do this, and then we're going to get into just like a super short micro meditation. And again, that's just because like I'm acknowledging that like I'm getting pretty tired, and yeah, it'll be good to be able to wrap this up and get to sleep, go dream, meet up in the dream tree. So just inviting everyone to take a moment here as we get ready to draw the tarot card. So all right, so let's take in a gentle breath here. And exhale. Just reminding and allowing ourselves to just trust in the process, trust in the present moment, while being open to receiving the messages and receiving the lessons at hand, so that we can continue to learn and accomplish many more missions and lessons within this lifetime, while helping others along the way. So here we go. Gonna draw the tarot card now. So just inviting you guys to set your intentions. So picking the tarot card any second now. Oh, great universe, show us what we need to see. Bloop. All right, so this week's card is, oh, there we go. This week's card is number 14, which is balance. So pretty sure that was something that we definitely literally mentioned earlier, at least like related to the gray Jedi type stuff. But this is probably also valuable information to be able to receive ahead of time, going into the weeks ahead, in which like Star Wars will be coming out, and we'll be reminded collectively, and we're moving into the solstice, and this is a very, very powerful time right now. So let's reflect on the message of balance. So holding the card up to the camera for you guys to see the image of balance, for those of you listening just through the audio. And again, check out Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes if you're looking for the MP3s, or just go to the website and click the radio button. So balance, the image from my own description, there's like kind of staircases both leading up and leading down, and there's a dove in the sky, and behind the dove is kind of like a celestial sort of temple interior, and there's like trees, and then there's also a book in the foreground that is open, and kind of open right down the middle of itself. And again, the dove has its like wings spread. So let's read what balance is. So just invite you guys to even just close your eyes and kind of receive this as a meditation. Balance, the image. The form of a white dove, as a symbol for a higher consciousness, balances in midair above a fertile landscape, whose existence is based upon deep knowledge. Meaning, at the end of the second sequence of 7, the theme of as within, so without finds its end. After the previous scene symbolism of the individual soul's path, which became more manifest in the depths of material existence, balance represents the immaterial, bodiless existence of the soul. The meaning of the current image is better understood when we look at it together with the image of the devil, as the devil represents the state of imbalance, which comes from immoderation. The image of balance is seen as its polar opposite of moderation or temperance. Everything that we see in our world has its origins in the inner world. The world of spirit is the starting point for all appearances in the material world. So I'm just going to reread that because that was literally something we talked about in this broadcast like 20 minutes ago. The world of spirit is the starting point for all appearances in the material world. So again, as you're listening to this, like this card is also for you. So pay attention to any messages that are resonating for you. The balanced emotional life that results takes care of a harmonious relationship between body, soul, and spirit. At peace with himself and the world, man is open for higher inspiration. Such an inspired spirit is capable of stretching out across the limits of superficial reality and expanding its field of influence. All right, so I'm going to reread that because that's incredibly important right here. So, at peace with himself and the world, man is open for higher inspiration. Such an inspired spirit is capable of stretching out across the limits of superficial reality and expanding its field of influence. So right there, that's like basically summarizing the potential of a human, the potential of a shifter. Being in balance with ourselves greatly increases the limits of being able to have influence over superficial reality. Considerate contact with and loving care for one's fellow man characterizes a pure soul. Besides cultivating present gifts and talents, the refinement and expression of one's being involves eternalizing timeless teachings of wisdom. The inner being is mirrored in the grace and charm of the outer appearance. Modesty as an outer sign for inner richness is a cornerstone for a healthy balance between giving and receiving. In a balanced relationship between understanding and feeling, the soul is capable of bringing about an air of tranquil zest for life. Let me just reread that part. In a balanced relationship between understanding and feeling, the soul is capable of bringing about an air of tranquil zest for life. By being responsible for tranquility within ourselves, we are also responsibility for peace in the world. So that's the right up there. So again, you know, peace worldwide begins inside is basically the summary out of that last part. Astrological significance: Mercury, Venus at midheaven, and Libra. Key words: peace, connection with higher self; soul, tranquility; balance, vision; natural gifts; higher inspiration, clear channel for spiritual messages; inspiration, objective observation; ability for differentiation; cultivation, meditative observation; connection between feeling and understanding; artistic expression. Traditional meaning: deep wisdom, harmony and balance, moderation, essence of being, composure, innocence, balance, centeredness, clear thinking, charm, inner peace, contact with angels and nature spirits, mental strength, purity. So there you go, everyone. That's the balance card. And again, I think that's an incredibly valid reminder for right now. I think that would, you know, totally just like the perfect card in terms of moving into the solstice, which is again, you know, like a midpoint. It is a balance point within the year and everything. And I think moving into the solstice is a great reminder for us to be able to seek balance within ourselves. So I mean, I think balance is something that requires constant upkeep and constant attention. And again, I think it's easy for us to lose balance, but that's where being able to work together as community is incredibly valuable. And yeah, just being aware of just kind of like what it is that we're saying here is that when we find balance within ourselves through our own connections and understandings and feelings and health and diet and spirit and, you know, and mind, body, and soul, it allows us to become better channels for source, better channels for the all-one. The all-one is kind of a word for like the creative flow of life. And so I feel like that is one of the most important things that we can do within the shift, is to become better channels for inspiration and vision and creativity and consciousness to come through ourselves and thus unfold into the influences that we have with those around us, such as the influence that we have with our family members and places, you know, our workplaces and our communities and even strangers. And yeah, I think it's just always important to be reminded of why balance is important. Like it's opposed to it just being a novel idea, it's actually something that is quite practical. So if you're looking to get in tune with your spirituality and with kind of connection to higher visions and psychedelic states naturally, being able to bring balance into your own life is a prerequisite to be able to like maintain consistency with your own connection to that aspect of your spirituality. So we owe it to the world, you know, we owe it to the world to bring balance within ourselves and in turn bring balance to the world. I think again, you know, it's just that's really it. Like if we want to change the world, we change ourselves. And part of the way how we do that is by bringing balance into our own selves. So being aware of habits, changing habits, and just like continuing to question ourselves, question our intentions, while still being open to new experiences. And yeah, I think balance is going to be a very subjective thing. So reflect on what balance means to you, and yeah, just allow yourself to explore that. So there you go. So there's balance there. I'll just allow the microphones to be open up just for anybody. Just raise your hand if you want to just like say anything about maybe like what that card means to you, or just the relevance of it, or just anything else that you would like to add to the circle related to the topic and the card of balance. So does anybody want to say anything more related to balance and just kind of like what that means? And again, you know, like from the perspective of what we were kind of talking about with like Star Wars and everything like that, like the objective of the universe isn't just to exist in the Jedi side. It isn't just to exist in the Sith side, but like it's acknowledging that both exist, and that balance is like where like the harmony resides. So to just have Jedi wouldn't solve things. To just have Sith wouldn't solve things, but it's like the balance. And so like even within ourselves, it's like to make right decisions all the time wouldn't actually be like the right thing. To make mistakes is part of the journey. So like we have to make right choices, and we have to make mistakes in order to be able to grow. We have to have joy. We have to have like pain. We have to have like courage. We have to have fear in order to be able to like experience like both, in order to know both more, and in turn know ourselves. So yeah, okay, so does anybody are you guys okay with that? Does nobody want to say anything related to balance? Again, just this is all practice and such. Anything that you guys might want to share for the people listening related to balance? I think everybody's probably getting pretty tired, so that's okay. So yeah, I think that's self-explanatory, right? So all right, cool, I'm okay with that. All right, okay, so let's just move into a very short micro meditation. What is oh, okay. It looks like for those interested, we're going to be streaming Jim and Andy on the Rabbit link. And Byron, send me a link for the Rabbit, and I'll post it into the YouTube comment afterwards as well. So for anybody who wants to like hang out after this broadcast, refresh the YouTube page and then like check the comment, and you should see the comment for the Rabbit which is like the streaming shared website type thing. So assuming we get it up, or I'll post it into the live chat on the main website as well. So go to live.paradigmcentral.com and open up the live chat there. So yeah, party will just keep going all night. So, okay. Thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this broadcast. Again, you know, these broadcasts are important. A lot of what it is that we are doing is just deepening our connections as community, as friends, as allies along this journey, and continuing to learn and be inspired by one another. And yeah, I think that's just like such a powerful thing. So let's just move into our meditation now. So 1 second. Okay, so let's move into our meditation. So I'll just invite everyone to get nice and comfortable. And this is just going to be a very short and simple meditation, just to kind of be able to synchronize with some intention before we close off this broadcast. Okay. All right. Okay. So just giving a moment here for people to be able to synchronize, and just inviting you to just get a little bit comfortable. And if you fall asleep during this, if it's like late at night for you, that's totally cool too. So we'll just use this as an opportunity to see what Source wants to bring through. All right. So again, in this moment, just inviting you to close your eyes. Just inviting you to be able to relax your body. We'll just begin simply by connecting with the breath. So at your own rhythm, gentle inhales through the nose, gentle exhales through the nose or the mouth. Again, inhales through the nose. And just hold it for a second before the exhale. And gentle exhales through the mouth. So imagining the in-breath meeting the out-breath. The out-breath meeting the in-breath. Like the water gently rolling up onto the shore. So as we are here in our breath, let us just gently scan our body, while just sending it some love as well. So in this moment, as we move into a place of just stillness and deeper attention, deeper presence, let us bring awareness to our feet and to our shins and to our calves and our thighs. And as we do, just gently allowing our feet, our shins, our calves, and our thighs to gently just relax. Just sending them, visualizing almost just a warm energy. Good. And from here, just gently bringing our awareness up to our hips, our groin, our waist, and our torso. And as you do, just moving energy in that direction and gently relaxing our hips, our groin, our waist, and our torso. As you continue to breathe, moving your awareness up to your chest and across your shoulders. As you breathe, even just lifting your chest, while allowing your chest and your shoulders to gently relax. And bringing your awareness to your arms, your forearms, your hands. Gently again, allowing your arms, your forearms, and your hands to relax. Good. Bringing your awareness up to your throat, your jaw, even your tongue, gently relaxing your tongue off the top of your mouth. Just relaxing your throat, your chin, and your jaw, and your tongue. As you continue to breathe, bring awareness to your cheeks, your nose, your eyelids, your eyebrows, your forehead, your entire head. Just allowing your cheeks, your nose, your forehead, your eyebrows, your entire head to gently just relax. And so in this space, just allow visualizing from a point at the heart of your body, in your heart, just imagining a single point of light. And slowly just imagine that light expanding as it begins to reach every inch of your body. And just visualizing, as well as directing with your imagination, just a sensation of warmthness. And in this moment, almost beginning to, in some way, allow your imagination to be guided beyond your physical body. So as you imagine your body becoming light, literally filling up with the light that it already is, realize that this is not just an imagination, but is literally you connecting into something that is very real and always is. And so in this moment, let us gently just slowly begin to imagine ourselves almost floating outside of our physical body as just a being of pure light that we are. And in this moment, just imagining ourselves gently floating above our city, wherever we are, as we just take a moment here to do something we've done before, as we collectively acknowledge each other while strengthening the grid through shared vision and intention. And so perceiving this from whatever perception, perspective you choose, seeing and feeling yourself floating above your location, looking around and acknowledging the different points of light across the earth, all of us tuned into this wherever we are, and beginning to visualize a white light connecting between each and every one of us, imagining light expanding from each of us, connecting together as a grid. And so as we build this grid of light around the earth, allow us to breathe into it. And as we breathe into it, let us bring in intentions that we choose to bring into it. So as you hold space in this moment, allow yourself to project intentions that you would like to encode into the grid, intentions that will begin to be felt by others who are continuing to wake up within the dream. So intentions, as you just say them to yourself, of courage, intentions of wisdom, of compassion, of understanding, of patience, of perseverance. And just take this moment here to breathe in your own silence, feeling the light that is connecting us, the light that we are continuing to strengthen as we both give and receive. So take a moment here in your own breath to connect not only with the intentions that you put out for all other beings who you are, but also receiving the gratitude and the courage and the inspiration from all the other beings who we are. So just take a moment here to just breathe and say in your own mind what you would like to both give and receive. So just connect with your breath here in your own silence for the next few moments. So as you continue to breathe, imagine yourself almost seeing from a higher perspective this grid continuing to strengthen. It's like a nice, warm hug around the earth itself. And just acknowledging the bigger story that we are all a part of. And so, as we breathe into this moment, as we breathe into this gift, let us truly remember the infinite power of a wish that we may place on a star that can seem so very far, and yet that star is just an echo of what we already are. Because when we meet the universe halfway, we remind ourselves of how to play the game in which we have chosen to be a part of, so that we can know this, so that we can grow through this, so that we can see beyond, so that we can sing our songs from here into the eschaton. So as you breathe into your heart, breathe in the shared courage, the shared inspiration, the deeper remembrance of yourself as a multidimensional being, and the service that you came here in, acknowledging that your growth is the growth of the collective, and finding balance within yourself brings balance into this world. So as you continue to breathe here, slowly begin to gently imagine yourself reconnecting with your physical body, as you imagine yourself almost floating back down into it, while still maintaining a part of yourself present, holding that grid around the earth, that grid that continues to flow in abundance of consciousness, of awe-in, of love, of inspiration for each and every shifter, for each and every dreamer. So connect with your breath here and just take another moment just to reflect in your own silence of just what it means for you to be here, both in terms of gratitude and also in terms of excitement for the many things still to come. The wolf within me sees and honors the wolf within you. So maintaining a calmness in your breath, remembering the whispers of a promise you made to yourself beyond this lifetime alone. Gently, as you are ready, you can slowly bring your awareness back to your physical body, maintaining calmness in your breath, gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you. And so it is. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for being present as part of this sacred digital hyperdimensional ceremony that we do here through these broadcasts. And again, thank you for carrying the shift with you where you are. As time continues to move forward, I feel more and more of us are acknowledging and feeling and recognizing the importance of communities such as this, and just reminding people that part of the idea behind this is to help spark the inspiration for everyone here to do what they can where they are, be it building paradigm shift communities, finding the others, building the tribe, working on our art, submitting, and continuing to collectively keep an eye on each other and continue to hold each other up to higher virtues and deeper promises that we've made to ourselves as a collective to, again, show up in service while also experiencing the joy and the fun and the excitement and the mystery of this dream and what it means to not only experience love, but really be love. So I am love with you. So as we get ready to conclude this broadcast, I'd like to just, again, open up the circle. I'll pass the talk and stick around, and we'll just use these last few moments here to just express any gratitude that we would like to share for each other, for the community, for the project, for everyone listening, for all the shifters out there. And yeah, just reminding everyone that they can get involved with future broadcasts at paradigmshiftcentral.com, create your profile on the main website for free if you haven't yet. And you can also support on Patreon at patreon.com/Brendon Culliton and get your Shifter Booster Kit with your Light Guardian Crystal. And yeah, you can subscribe to me on YouTube at youtube.com/Skull Babylon. Check out Paradigm Shift Central on Facebook, and check out Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes if you would like to subscribe to that, and check out more stuff on the main website, including new quest journals from people in the community, and even submit your own. And stay tuned on the website for more interactive conscious community work. So yeah, just who would like to, just any gratitude or any just like closing things that you guys would like to bring to the circle before we wrap things up here, then please feel free to share. Thank you again, everyone. Vincent, is there anything you want to share verbally or anything? No, honestly, no pressure, guys. No, it's all good. I'm just gonna put Sean on the spot since he's cool like that. Sean, gratitude that you just want to share for the people listening to this. Thanks again, man, for being here.
Let's see. I don't know, I was just thinking about dreaming dreams, I guess. If you ever dream the future, remember what the dream look and feels like, because it might happen again. You'll have a lot better warning if you know at the time. So it usually seems to be in a code.
There you go. Yeah. You gotta see the code within the matrix. So
yeah, you kind of like code things to yourself, it seems like.
I think so. Yeah.
So you don't give away the end of the story.
We're so mysterious.
Like, let you know you're on the right path, kind of like seeing numbers.
Yeah, definitely.
Like know you're aligned.
Totally.
Yes, remembering a dream where I was shown something to do with a video game like years ago, and a bunch of other stuff happened, like me being on my phone doing internet stuff all the time, and in the same dream had something to do with the game, and I'm guessing it might have had something to do with paradigm shift.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, it was like the only thing that hadn't happened yet, and
interesting.
Well, until I started, connecting with paradigm shift stuff. But
cool.
I don't know, it just popped in my head, I guess.
Cool. Sweet, man. Well, thanks again, Sean, and yeah, definitely look forward to connecting outside of the broadcast and between now and the next one. So, thanks again for holding space, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Word.
Sweet.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, paradigm shift.
Sweet. All right.
Interesting thing going on.
Oh yeah, no, it totally is. I think so. I think what we got going on here is pretty unique, and yeah, definitely a lot of potential to it. So let's just keep doing it. So awesome. Sweet. All right. Thanks again, man. All right. So yeah, again, just opening up the talking stick to anybody else who just wanted to share anything. I don't know if Anna's there or anything. Anna, do you got any more kittens? Kitten magic that you want to share? Not even sure if Anna's there. No. And I'm just going to pull your mic open if you even just want to express any gratitude, and we'll just close it off soon anyway. So
I do. I have. Hang on. Where is it?
Kitten
Yeah,
magic.
so I have a new one.
Another black and white one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's the balance. Oh my god. It's so
Exactly.
symbolic.
Exactly. It's funny.
Holy
She
crap.
just dropped another black one, so there's 2 black and white ones and 2 black ones now. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's like
Yeah. No, I'll
really
just
trippy.
want to express gratitude to pretty much the whole team. Because yeah, we need to support each other and promote each other and help each other in order to keep the focus going. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me.
Awesome. Thank you again, Anna. Thank you to you and the whole family there, and to all the new kitten members as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Sweet. Wow. Okay, seriously, the fact that like there was like a white kitten and a black kitten born during this broadcast, and then there was a black and white kitten born at the end of this broadcast. Like seriously, you can't plan that stuff, man. That's just like what happens when you hang out with like the Paradigm Shift crew. So trippy stuff, man. Like, and I'm not surprised, but I'm seriously just like flabbergasted. Is that the right word? I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited. So, all right, guys. Sweet. Anybody else wanted to share anything? And if not, that's totally cool. And I think some of us are going to try the rabbit thing afterwards. So check the live chat on the main website if people want to keep hanging out there. And yeah, we're going to see if we can like watch the Jim and Andy documentary, I think, for a little bit. And yeah, again, for everyone looking to get involved, like, yeah, these team broadcasts are important, but there's a lot of other stuff that we're going to be working on coordinating over this coming month. So please stay tuned on the main website. Get in the Discord server if you haven't yet. Make a habit of like checking in there on a regular basis when you can. And yeah, I want to be able to like work alongside you guys a lot more. I want to be able to like evolve myself as a leader, and in turn be able to continue to evolve the entire team, and for all of us to continue to just like really accomplish some awesome things within the month of December as well as within the ongoing coming months. So yeah. So with that said, I think we're pretty much ready to wrap up this broadcast. For anybody who you listen to within this broadcast, we'll make sure that we include show notes. We'll include links for their profiles into the show notes. So if you're looking to connect with anybody in this broadcast, such as Nick and Vincent and Bryan and Anna and Sean or Tom or anybody else who might have jumped in momentarily earlier, then check the show notes in the YouTube or under the broadcast for November 30th on the main Paradigm Shift Central website as well. And yeah, reminder that you can create a Paradigm Shift community where you are, and sign up for the team Patreon to help support the project and get your Shifter Booster Kit, and yeah, keep it shifty and all that awesome stuff. So thank you again, everyone, for another awesome broadcast. Everyone here, I'm going to unmute your microphones, unless I'll just like send some final gratitude, love, and happy full moon again, everyone. So let's send out those all sorts of good vibrations and make some noise. So everyone join me in either howling or whatever you feel you want to do. So much love to all the shifters out there. We love you guys. Make some noise.
Ready?
Meow. Sweet. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys again. Thank you guys, girls and aliens. Keeping things totally inclusive as much as we can. So. All right, awesome broadcast, everyone. Yeah, let's just continue to ripple the inspiration forwards. Again, you know, shift missions between now and then. Think about creating a Paradigm Shift community where you are. Keep practicing your art. Find balance within your own path. Create conversation with friends and strangers. Invite more people to the Paradigm Shift Central project. And as always, keep it shifty. And we will see you guys in the future. So on behalf of the whole team at Paradigm Shift Central, my name is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, aka Wolf Shield. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And keep it shifty. So there we go. All right, broadcast officially concluding, and I love you guys. So until next time, we'll see you in the future. Peace and peace.